is a special presentation of CW7 Arizona Sports. Welcome to the Fiesta Bowl High School Football Showdown pregame show. Presented by Sweet James, Accident Attorneys. We fight for what you deserve.
A pair of teams looking to redefine the definition of culture squares off on a beautiful Maryvale and Phoenix, Arizona. A pleasure to have you here as North Canyon takes on Maryvale in the Fiesta Bowl High School Football Showdown on CW7 Arizona. We're here with you for the next half hour to set the scene before kickoff on the pregame show presented by Sweet James Accident Attorneys. Everyone is jazzed up. A pleasure to have you along for the ride here tonight on CW7 Arizona. I'll be with you for the next half hour, Devin Henry. Then we head on up to the booth, but a lot of fun that we already have scheduled here for this next half hour. It's a party here at Maryvale. Glad to have everyone along for the ride as we get ready for some mariachi music. We get ready to talk to both coaches. And how about this? The Veil, brand new debut jerseys. North Canyon also has brand new jerseys. They're not wearing them tonight, but they have two brand new home jerseys. So two new fits for two of these teams looking to redefine their programs, rebuild, and find their way back into the postseason. Glad to have you along for the ride. We join with our sideline host, Lexi Lambert. It's been a long day for you every time we have these Thursday nights, but it's a blast every single time. I'm watching this morning you with Bruce Cooper, and you guys are out there. You have the Carter brothers with like the giant pants on. They're throwing inflatable footballs in there, the mariachi band. It was a blast this morning.
It was so much fun. Like you said, we had all these things, so much fun to do, and I gave us a little recap. Should we check it out?
Absolutely. Let's take it out. Look.
To be able to showcase Maryvale High School. Kind of been, in the shadows for a little bit, so it's great to put them in the front and center.
Ball in these first five. Now I got my guys back. Now we're ready to really ball. Born ready. If you stay ready, you don't got to get ready.
I didn't see Brad Perry move like that a little bit more often.
I know. He's got those dancing jeans in him, and he always breaks it out for the pep rally. You also saw him walking with the lady. It was their principal. It was her birthday, so they all sang her happy birthday, and she walked down the middle with Brad. It was so much fun, and now, like I said, we are rocking the lace because it's Hawaiian night, as you saw with all the Hawaiian shirts and everything.
Man, so excited, so much fun. Before we get you with Jordan Spurgeon and Dale Hellstray, more from Lexi coming up here with the mariachi band and the coaches coming up here on our CW7 Fiesta Bowl High School Football Showdown. This is the pregame show presented by Sweet James. We'll be back on the other side.
The Fiesta Bowl High School Football Showdown pregame show on CW7 Arizona is presented by Sweet James Accident Attorneys. We fight to get what you deserve.
You'll hear them in the Santan Ford broadcast booth a little bit later, but for now, as North Canyon takes on the Maryvale Panthers, I'm joined by our play-by-play announcer, Jordan Spurgeon, and three-time Super Bowl winning champion, Dale Hellstray. Glad to have you guys here tonight at Maryvale High School. Two programs looking to redefine culture. Maryvale has a win this year. That matches their win total from last year. North Canyon has 2 wins this year. That matches their win total the past 2 years combined. But a lot changed here, especially for Maryvale here in week number 6.
So much has changed for Maryvale. I was talking to North Canyon, there's film on this team, but you're going to throw it out because Maryvale has 9 transfers that are going to be in the starting lineup tonight. You talk to the Carter brothers, Marcus and Mark Carter, and they're so excited to get a bunch of talent from all over the state that wanted to come here, and now they are free tonight here in week 6, and they're so excited. And Dale, coaching, it sounds great to get all those transfers, but sometimes it's a little more challenging right off the bat.
It's really interesting because you're going to have a lot of talented guys come in, but how are they going to mesh with the other guys, the guys who get replaced? How are they going to respond as teammates? Yeah, you might be more talented, but do you still have that team aspect, even though you are more talented? It's always fascinating, the middle of the season in all levels of high school football.
9 for Maryville, 1 for North Canyon. We'll take a look at that first in a program here that broke a 21-game losing streak a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, North Canyon, I mean, what Coach Johns is doing is so impressive. We'll have more on that up in the Santan Ford booth later. But, you know, their one transfer, Liam Royal, not in the starting lineup today, but he's someone that's going to make a huge impression, Dale. I know you'll like this. 6'4", about 250 pounds up there on the line, can play on both sides. He's going to be a difference maker when he gets in. I'm
so glad I'm done playing football, the size of these monsters. And you look at that and you go, he's a sophomore. I don't know if he's 15 yet. Sophomore, and he's only going to grow. Thank goodness I'm done playing. Excited to see number 74 tonight.
So 1 from North Canyon, and now let's open up the ever-growing list, the ever-unseen list. So many, 9 transfers here for Maryvale.
You know, it starts with the brothers here, the Alec Povies. Julian, you see on the screen there, he's a wide receiver, defensive back, going to get a lot of play for this team. And then they have a sophomore quarterback, his brother, Masan Alec Povey. And that connection right there is going to be something that I know Dale and I are going to be talking about all night long. And, you know, when you're a team and you get a new quarterback midseason, it's not always easy, but when it is a quarterback that is wearing, you know, a single-digit number unlike what they've had this year, that's got to be a big change.
Well, it has, and instead of having a lineman living his dream and all that, now he's got to go back in the trenches, and you see the list of transfers that are eligible tonight, and it spreads across the board. Excited to see it. Excited to see a new offense out here and how that meshes in 1 week of practice.
Boy, excited to see everyone out there on the field. Some new jerseys on the field, not just the athletes wearing them, but Maryvale's brand new jersey that they're wearing for the first time at home with the Veil. North Canyon not wearing their brand new jerseys that we'll talk about a little bit later, but they also have brand new jerseys. We'll bring that up a little bit later on in the show. Glad to have you on the pregame show presented by Sweet James. This is the Fiesta Bowl High School Football Showdown. Join us more up next.
Fiesta Bowl High School Football Showdown pregame show on CW7 Arizona is presented by Sweet James Accident Attorneys. We fight to get what you deserve.
Welcome back into the pregame show presented by Sweet James. For North Canyon High School, boys, it's been one wild year. They broke a 21-game winless streak. Now they're here on CW7 Arizona. But on top of that, they just got a donation. 2 brand new jerseys come from Utah University quarterback Devin Dampierre. And this change, it's been a long-awaited one, and not to mention on top of that, a very welcome one.
Yeah, because our old jersey, they were washed up. They were probably like 5, 6 years old.
They're falling apart, so they were annoying by the end.
They feel a lot better than the old ones because the other ones was falling apart. I'm not even going to lie.
The last jerseys were so tight. They were like tapered.
I've been here all 4 years. This is my first time ever getting new jerseys.
With a fresh new fit, the energy's up at North Canyon.
That was just a blessing for us.
I mean, we look good with them.
It feels like a new school.
Personally, my mom loved it. I showed her this one in specific, and she loved it.
Honestly, they feel amazing. They're pretty tight, but they look pretty cool. I mess with it a lot.
Saguaro alum and current Utah quarterback Devin Dampierre donated $9,000 for jerseys and equipment to the program. That includes his younger brother, Dominic.
Like, he didn't have to do that, but he took his time out of his way to give us jerseys. Gave us 2 jerseys and some pants as well.
We can match it up. We can go black pants or purple tops or purple pants and black top.
Now with new jerseys, a broken 21-game losing streak, and a CW7 TV appearance at the Fiesta Bowl this season, it feels like a culture change is happening at North Canyon.
It's been a weird ride the last 4 years here, and being able to change this culture with this new head coach in has been a great feeling, and it's been one of the best seasons of football I've ever been a part of.
Boy, you can just tell how pumped up those guys are. From the North Canyon side now to the Maryvale side. We're here with one of my favorite stories of the year so far, Travis and Philip Dean. I mean, we get brothers on teams all the time. But 2 guys on the offensive line blocking for the quarterback together, and then one of you was the quarterback for a while. How cool was it having your brother protecting you, or vice versa? You're protecting your brother on the biggest stage.
Well, like, I'll get on his head, he will get on my head, because I'm like, the snaps are bad. They're too high. I just really I love my brother, but sometimes we can bump heads, and it's really cool to be playing at high school with my brother.
Yeah, like what he said, it's like it feels good to protect my brother. And I got his back, he got my back and everything.
And now both of you play on the offensive line right now. Is it more relieving, maybe just a little bit more being able to know that you have your brother on that line fighting with you, snap in, snap out?
Yeah, like now I'm by his side. Well, I used to be, but now I'm really with him, so it's way better.
Yeah, it feels so much more comfortable with him on the line with me.
Now, I do have a couple rapid fires for you guys. First and foremost, if I went and asked your mom, which one of you would she say takes down more food?
Lately, me. I'm not going to lie. Lately, me.
Now, how about this? You play quarterback. Which one of you two, if Coach Carter said, go play receiver, who's getting the job done the best between the two of you?
Me.
Nah, definitely me.
Nah, I got better hands than him.
Now, this has been very, very fun to watch. You guys, it's a thankless job on the offensive line. How much fun has it been going through this journey, though, together?
Can you say that question again?
How fun has it been being able to go through this journey together on the offensive line?
Definitely better. Like, me and him been growing up playing Pop Warner football, and now I'm by his side, and we get to coach each other up. So, yeah.
Yeah. It just feels so much, I don't know what to say outside.
Oh, man. So cool, guys. Thanks for being here. Travis, appreciate you. Philip, appreciate you guys.
Thank you for having us.
Pleasure to have you guys. Have fun here tonight. Glad to have you guys here on the Sweet James pregame show here for the Fiesta Bowl High School Football Showdown. More on the way. We got the Mariachi Band hanging out with Lexi on the other side. Stick around here in Maryvale High School.
The Fiesta Bowl High School Football Showdown pregame show on CW7 Arizona is presented by Sweet James Accident Attorneys. We fight to get what you deserve.
Welcome back to our Sweet James pregame show. I cannot over-exaggerate how excited I am for this next segment. Now, kickoff is coming up next, but I need Lexi to go grab one of the guitars. Lexi, take it away with the Mariachi Band. I love this part of Maryvale football.
I am down here with Ashley. She's the president of the Mariachi Band. Tell me a little bit about your guys' club.
So our club, we're called Mariachi Panteras de Oro. So there's a class that meets every day, and then there's a gigging group that you have to audition to be in. And we just go out into the community. Sometimes we get paid. Sometimes we just do it for the community and get community service hours. Yeah.
That's amazing. So tell me, what does it mean to you to be a part of this group?
It actually means a lot to me. I love being able to connect to my Mexican heritage and being able to do something I love while connecting to just being Mexican.
And then you play a 4-string instrument, but tell me a little bit more about it.
Okay, so this is a violin. It honestly can be played in a lot of different ensembles like orchestra, but this is specifically for mariachi, so it'll play the melody and sometimes it'll accompany the trumpet.
I love that. And then you guys are going to be playing something for us. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, let him take away.
Fiesta Bowl High School Football Showdown pregame show on CW7 Arizona is presented by Sweet James Accident Attorneys. We fight to get what you deserve.
Welcome back to the Fiesta Bowl pregame show presented by Sweet James. I, for one, will be advocating for more mariachi band hits throughout tonight and the rest of the season. But for now, we'll head back to the sideline with Lexi Lambert. She's catching up with the co-head coaches at Maryvale, Mark and Marcus Carter. And on top of that, Anthony Johns is along with them from North Canyon High School.
I am down on the field with Coach Mark and Coach Marcus from Maryvale and Coach Johns. Okay, coaches, tell me a little bit about the culture you guys are creating on your teams.
A culture of just being good young men, giving back to the community, doing the right things in the classroom, doing the right things at home, and then, in the classroom and then at home, and then, being great football players, in that order. And so just instilling that culture to things that's going to lead outside of the football field is very, very important to us. And, that's just our mindset right now.
Anything to add?
No, ma'am.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about being the best version of you. That's our culture, right? Whether it's on the field, off the field, at home, with your family, it's all about being the best version of you, and that's what we instill in our guys.
And it's a game under the lights with the TV. What's a non-negotiable you guys have been telling your players?
Have sportsmanship. Everybody's watching, and they're a reflection of us. So regardless of what's going on in the game, respect your opponent and, respect the people that's coming to see you. They're representing themselves, number one, their families, number two, their school, number three, and then us as a football program. So sportsmanship has been the big thing for us.
Perfect.
Yeah, same deal. Sportsmanship has been huge for us. We want to make sure that we're acting the right way, making sure we're playing the right way, and then making sure we're doing things we're supposed to on the field, not acting out of, any kind of way or anything like that.
And what does it mean to you guys, for both programs, to have this game, this highlight for you guys?
I think it's great. It's two up-and-coming programs with, coaches that's been in the game for a while in the state of Arizona. So it's not your prototypical powerhouse 6A school. It's two 4A schools that are up-and-coming, that have great men, great coaches that have great kids, great communities, just to highlight some of the guys that get overshadowed by the big programs.
Love that.
Yeah, same, I agree. It's huge for our program. I don't remember the last time North Canyon's been on TV, probably when I was in high school, which is in 2004. So we played them a long time ago. So for us, it's everything, right? We've been looking forward to this for a while.
Okay, perfect. Best of luck to you, coaches. And like I said, I'm going to have you guys hug it out.
Oh, I love it. I love the hugs every single week. Thank you, Lexi, so much for that. And love what these two coaching staffs are doing for these programs. They both made one state championship game. North Canyon's won a title before. Maryvale was in a state title game in 1975, trying to bring not just programs back to prominence here, but on top of that, just trying to bring back a culture to these programs. Now, a lot more still to come here on the CW7 Fiesta Bowl High School Football Showdown as Maryvale makes their way out to the field. Next week, we'll be in Mesa Dobson High School as they take on the Sunnysville Vikings. It's the battle in Queen Creek versus ALA Queen Creek. Cactus Showers come up from Tucson to play Chaparral. It's our battle up in northern Arizona. So excited to get to Prescott as they take on Bradshaw Mountain. And then back to Gilbert Chandler as Perry and Basha square off on November 6th. That's our upcoming CW7 Arizona Fiesta Bowl High School Football Showdown broadcast schedule. Boy, so glad to have you guys along for the ride tonight here. And it's going to be on Hawaii night. And coming up tomorrow morning after the AZ Daily Mix, it's Sport of Speed returning to CW7. So glad to bring you everything from the world of NASCAR. We'll have Ross Chastain looking to get back above the playoff cut line. And Larry Fitzgerald joins us. Kyle Larson throwing the first pitch of the Diamondbacks. CW announcer Parker Kligerman and the Speedy Bear Brigade. It all kicks off tomorrow at 9 with the AZ Daily Mix. And then at 9:30, Devin Henry, Sport of Speed back on CW7 Arizona. My deepest apologies for the very shameless plug. Now we're going to head on down to the field here after this break. We'll send it up to the Santan 4 broadcast booth. Jordan Spurgeon, Del Hellstray will bring us tonight's game here from the Fiesta Bowl High School Football Showdown. That's it down here, presented by Sweet James. Up next, North Canyon, Maryvale on CW7.
Maryvale Spirit Line, and it's time for...
off right around the corner here at Maryvale High School as they welcome North Canyon. It's the Fiesta Bowl High School Football Showdown on CW7 Arizona. Tonight's game is brought to you by the Fiesta Bowl and Fiesta Sports Foundation, supporting Arizona youth, sports, and education. Welcome on inside the Santan Ford broadcast booth. I'm Jordan Spurgeon, alongside three-time Super Bowl champion Dale Halistray. And Dale, we've got a great game today between Maryvale and North Canyon. As we take a look at players to watch, we start with the visiting North Canyon. And this last name, many of us know if you've been around the valley for a bit. That's Dom Dampier, the brother of Devin Dampier, Saguaro alum like yourself, and at Utah right now.
Obviously, you've heard that name, and obviously you're looking for big things from anybody named Dampier. I've got to say, I just got yelled at by our producer, mostly because I was too close to the camera. Less of Dale, all right? It usually means a better broadcast. But, yeah, you take a look at these North Canyon guys that are playing tonight, and they've had a great start to the season, looking to build on that.
And then we flip over to the Maryvale side. Lots of new transfers to watch, but this is a young freshman that everybody needs to know. Kevin Scattersmith, a big guy out there on the line, 2 sacks this year. He's made some stuff as a tight end as well. He's a guy to watch for.
Yes, he is, and you see some size coming into this Maryvale team, too, so it's going to be fascinating watching Maryvale go.
Now we're going to head on down to the field for the coin toss. The Fiesta Bowl High School Football Showdown coin toss is brought to you by the U.S. Army. Be all you can be, and our sideline reporter, Lexi Lambert, is down there with some of the Yellow Jackets.
Yes, I am down here with Stephen from Fiesta Sports Foundation. For the viewers at home, can you tell me a little bit about Fiesta Sports Foundation?
The Fiesta Sports Foundation is an organization that has supports our youth teachers and into sports. We've been, been in the Valley for
introduce yourself
since 1995. So what it means to me, though, is that, I'm able to give back to the community. We're able to give back to our community. What our slogan is the season never ends, and we're more than sports.
All right, gentlemen, as
so
captains,
we're here,
I expect you to be leaders out
supporting,
here.
our community.
That's amazing. And now it's time for the coin toss.
We'll try to take care of it, okay? North Canyon, you're on the visiting sideline. You're going to call today's coin. Red is heads. This side is tails. Tails. Red is heads. What's your call?
Tails.
What is his call?
Tails.
Tails is the call. We have an honorary captain who's going to flip our coin.
Gentlemen, do your 111. Have a great game tonight. Give 100% every club.
Okay, so it is the tails. North Canyon, you've won the toss. What'd you like to do?
Receive.
Okay, North Canyon, they've won the toss. They've elected to receive. That means, Maryvale, you're going to kick the ball. Which way would you like to kick?
Now we're going to take a look at tonight's keys to the game, Dale. And as we start with the visiting North Canyon Panthers, it's pretty simple.
Yes, it is. And usually if you want to win games, you want to win up front. That's both offensively and defensively on the line. Obviously, Dom Dampier going to be a big focal point. And then you can throw out the tape on Maryvale because they're going to have a bunch of new guys doing different things out there tonight.
That's the keys to the game for them. Over at Maryvale, we talked about the new guys. That's where it starts.
Hey, you talked about transfers, and we talked about in the open the fact that there's going to be more talent on this team. How does it mesh with the guys that are still here? How are the guys that are now maybe being backups? How are they going to play that? All those things remain to be seen. But you've got to play good at the defensive line, and you've got to be cohesive as a football team.
Being out there at practice this week, that was the thing that I was impressed with. You see a lot of bigger bodies on this team that have come out there, but they were really working on the little things, especially from their tight ends, getting up and making those extra blocks. And so that is definitely going to be a key to the game as they look to do what they need to do to not only be a more talented team, but a better, grittier, more physical team, because that's what it's going to take at the end of the day in this matchup.
It's always interesting, too, they're playing on TV tonight. From talking to everybody around the field and during the week and the build-up, everybody's excited. All the players are excited. Watch for emotions early in the game, and you watch how they respond. No pre-snap or post-whistle penalties.
For North Canyon, it starts with Coach Anthony Johns, his second year there. He's an Arizona high school football alum from Peoria High School, and he's really helped set the culture here with this program. For the first time that any teacher on campus can recall, 0 players academically ineligible. That is impressive stuff.
And that speaks volumes right there, the discipline of the program. And Coach Johns, he's building this program. It's going to take a couple years. It was downtrodden a little bit, but they're on the upswing, keeping guys in the neighborhood going to North Canyon, big key. Watch for good things in the next couple of years.
Excited to see that. North Canyon, Coach John's team, they won the coin toss and will receive the opening kickoff. Kicker for Maryvale, Salumu Wasoke. The kick is up, and it's going to be caught inside the 10-yard line as Seven turns upfield, and he's brought down there. The starting lineups in tonight's game is brought to you by Sanderson Ford. This is Sanderson Ford country. Take a look at North Canyon. Carlos Ramondia is your signal caller. AJ Garcia joins him in the backfield. Dom Dampier, Johnny Boggs, Reed Preston are your wideouts. And on the line, Markel Arnold at tight end, Sean Tatro, Jason Asabrook, German Casemiro, Jace Fernandez, and Damian Fletcher to wrap out the trenches. The strength of this team, talking to Coach Johns, rests in the trenches.
Yes, and obviously they are going to have to get off to a good start. You're on the road, and a good start usually happens when you can run the football.
So starting inside the 20, 1st and 10, takes the snap. The lefty has nowhere to go, and he's sacked almost immediately. Great job there. Number 24, Noah Hamilton, in on that sack for Maryvale. As we take a look at the starters for Maryvale, brought to you by Sanderson Ford, Kevin Smith, Marky McCowan, and Tariq Hanna on the line. Noah Hamilton, who you saw made that sack. Then Ricky Guilford, Miles Woods, Matthew M., Sean Ward, Elijah Cross, and Jaden French, rounding out the starting lineup for the Maryvale Panthers. 2nd down and 12 for Maryvale, or for North Canyon. This time they try to get a screen pass, but it's dropped. Incomplete that time. Pass intended to running back A.J. Garcia to bring up 3rd down.
And those are little things that you need to get done early in the football game. Get rid of the nerves, complete a little screen pass for your quarterback, gain some positive yards. You don't want to be 3 and out, punting from the shadow of your own goalpost and giving this Maryvale team great field position.
Now Maryvale's defense going to look to do what it does best, and that's be aggressive. Every Carter team has aggressive defenses. 3rd down and long. Snap a little bit high. Passes up in the air. Pass falls incomplete, intended that time for Dom Dampier. That'll bring up 4th down. And that is number 1 there in pass coverage, Julian Alekpovi, getting it done for Maryvale.
Really nice job, just trailing the receiver. Ball's thrown right at him. Only 1 receiver, 3 defenders. There's some white jerseys out there. This game will get a little more comfortable for this North Canyon team, and they'll find those open receivers.
You know, both players, we talked about them leading into this game. That's going to be a matchup to watch all night. If Julian Alekpovi is on Dom Dampier all night, it's going to be interesting to see how those two battle it out. So 4th down, North Canyon does bring out the punt unit. That's going to be Kevin Silva, the punter for North Canyon. Snap is clean. Punt is up. Booted past midfield. And it's bobbled and dropped. North Canyon's going to come up with the football. That time, number 7, Jamorian Barron. And just like that, North Canyon gets a free 30 yards and the ball back.
Really nice job covering on that punt. Punt had a little hang time, allowed the punt team to get down there, get underneath it. Ball goes right through the hands, and look at the white jerseys around it. Jumping on it, and as you said, Barron coming up with the football, giving his team great field position to start their 2nd drive.
Special teams, the importance of special teams can't be understated, especially in a game that can be as close as this one. So now they get to extend their opening drive. It's basically an extra drive, but it's also an extension of this first one as they get onto Maryvale side of the field at the 44-yard line for 1st and 10. Carlos Ramondia takes the snap. A.J. Garcia gets the carry, and he's met quickly in the backfield. That time, number 0, Ricky Guilford, the freshman, in on the tackle.
It's not very often you see freshmen making physical plays like that. I don't care what level of football you're talking about, but some of these guys, younger and younger and younger, contributing at the varsity level. Really nice job by Guilford there, the freshman. 6 foot, 175-pound outside linebacker.
After the freshman's tackle, that'll be a gain of 1. So 2nd down and 9. Got a flag on the play. Looks like we had a Maryvale player jump off sides.
And I talked a little bit about that before the game started. The pre-snap.
Prior to the snap, encroachment on the defense. 5 yards,
Repeat, second down.
The pre-snap, post-whistle penalties are the ones that drive coaches crazy because those are controllable. Sometimes holding, pass interference, you can't control those, but those pre-snap penalties you can.
So after that 5-yard penalty, second down and 4, they're going to turn to the air and air it out, trying to find Dom Dampier. Dom Dampier gets the deflection off the defender, deflects it himself, and comes down with the football. Talk about an athlete. Dom Dampier, have a catch.
Really nice job concentrating on the football. Bounces off. I think a couple Maryvale defenders here. And keep your eyes up. You get your right hand, knock it up in the air, catch it yourself. And what a big play to put yourself down inside the 5-yard line.
It's easy to see why he is their top playmaker. Coach Johns had so many good things to say about him. And after that shot downfield, that brings up 1st and goal inside the 5-yard line. North Canyon looking to score first. This time on the carry, not much gives as multiple Maryvale Panthers are in the backfield.
This is where you have to be able to run the football when you get down inside the 10-yard line, the field kind of shrinks because the receivers can't run go routes. And so the defensive backs can sit on routes and make it difficult.
Our Red Zone sponsor tonight's game is Phillips Law Group. Everything you need to win, including a Phillips. Second down and goal to go from the 5-yard line for the Rattlers, looking to punch it in the end zone first in this game. They're going to turn to the air. Pass is up, and pass is broken up in the end zone. That time, number 6, Matthew M. in to deflect that one.
I like your Matthew M. It's so funny because sometimes I talk to the coach and say, hey, we have a nickname for him. We don't call him his last name, and to try and say his name, it's no disrespect, Matthew M. But nice play, getting your right hand in there. He's a 5'10", 160-pound senior, prevented a touchdown on the slant route.
And all the Carter said about him, an absolute dog. We saw it on that play from Matthew. Quarterback's going to keep it himself, but we do have a flag on the play, blowing that one dead.
Bring it back 5, Chad.
So it's going to come back 5.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense. 5 yards, replay, 3rd down.
And sometimes people like that. Now, so you're out of the 10-yard, that opens a few more routes and route concepts and combinations rather than down inside the 5-yard line, because it looks like right now North Canyon is going to have a hard time running the football against this Maryvale defense.
So following that penalty, 3rd down and goal from the 10-yard line as they look to punch it in for the first time tonight. They're going to turn to the air. Pass is up, and pass falls incomplete. Great job in coverage there once again by that dog Matthew, making a play out there for Maryvale to bring up 4th down.
Really nice job. Looked like the North Canyon receiver might have had an opportunity, but you're talking about Matthew M. getting his hands on the ball and ripping it out. And now what do you do if you're North Canyon? Looks like the field goal team's coming on to attempt for 3 points to end this drive.
So Kevin Silva, the kicker for the Rattlers, looking to get North Canyon on the board first. Great defensive stand there from Maryvale after giving up that big play in the passing game to get North Canyon in the red zone. As our aerial coverage here, and this field goal is brought to you by Sports 360 AZ, bringing you all the high school football coverage from across the state. And the kick is up, and the kick is good. So North Canyon, no good. They're signaling no good. Fooled me up here, and just like that, Maryvale gets a little bit of luck on their side, and they're going to get the ball inside the 20.
The operation was not very clean. Holder bobbled the ball a little bit. And yes, we have the worst angle on the football field to see if this is going to go through. This is the angle you like to watch. And it looked good from there.
So after that, Maryvale's going to get set to bring their offense. But before we do that, Lexi Lambert has more with coaches Mark and Marcus Carter. Lexi?
Yes, it's not every day you see two coaches who can literally finish each other's sentences. And I got to chat with them before the game, so check it out. From Maryvale. They are new coaches this year, and they are twins. Okay, I have a rapid-fire quick questions. First off, everyone wants to know who's older.
I am.
And who's more competitive?
Probably me.
And who does the most trash talking?
Probably me.
Who gives the better pregame speech? And then I have one final question. You both are wearing wearing shirts that say "Why not?" Can you explain those to me?
Well, because when we came to Maryvale, people were asking us why we came to Maryvale. We were out at Pop Warner's, just looking at talent and doing stuff, and people were asking, what's going on, why, why Maryvale? Why should we go to Maryvale? What's going on at Maryvale? And we just kept telling them, why not? Why not? Why not? Why not? And so it just became a thing, and so that's our mantra for this year is when anybody asks anything about Maryvale, that's what's going on here, we just tell them, we just say, why not?
I love that. Thank you, and best of luck.
Thank you.
Great stuff there, Lexi. Always great getting to know more about the Carters, and that's been the motto. And why not Maryvale? Well, 9 players at least already have said, why not Maryvale, as they transferred in, and here they are set free. We've already seen some make plays on defense. You'll see some of those same faces on offense. 1st and 10. Masan Alekpovi, one of the new transfers. Pass outside to number 4. That time Miles Woods turns upfield, and that will be a first down, but a flag comes in flying after the play.
Looks like that might be a horse collar tackle. You can just see the athleticism brewing in Miles Woods, 6'1". He looks a lot taller than 6'1", 150 pounds. He catches that ball down the sideline. You're grabbing and hoping and hanging on.
Yeah, Miles, one of the guys that when you talk to the Carters about him, they're just literally jumping up and down with joy. They've been so excited to see him play. And so
we have personal foul, horse collar tackle of the defense, 15 yards from the end of the run, first down.
And so it's no surprise that with that being added on at the end as well, that the first play was designed right there for Miles Woods. Put him fully on display. He's free, and Maryvale is off and running as they flip the field. First down and 10 from North Canyon's 42-yard line. Masan Alekpovi heaves it downfield, passes up, passes caught, and he walks into the end zone. That time, number 1, Julian Alekpovi, and just like that, Maryvale marches down the field in 2 plays and gets on the board first in this one, 6-0.
It does not take you long to see the athleticism, the speed, and the instant credibility. Look at this as you see 2 throws. You cover about 70 yards with the penalty, and you make it look very easy.
That brother connection, we've seen some other brothers in the pregame on this team, but that right there, Masan and Julian, we're going to see so much of that this season, and you couldn't ask for a better start on offense for Maryvale. I know the Carters are happy to see these guys. They come over from Alhambra and immediately make an impact. Bad snap there on the kick, and it will be picked up by North Canyon. They're going to try to run it back, but it's blown dead, and just like that, it stays 6-0. So early on in this game, Dale, 6-0 already, and we are seeing the transfers for this team. That was the key to the game for Maryvale. They are already making their names known across the field. Julian Alekpovi just scored on a pass from his brother, Masan Alekpovi. Sean Ward's made some tackles. Miles Wood had the first play. Matthew broke up some passes in the end zone. I mean, these guys are just getting it done right off the bat. You can't ask for a better start.
So the question that we had in pregame, how are they going to mesh? How are the other teammates going to accept them? And how pure is that going to be? I think halfway through the first quarter, the answer is I think they like them, and they like them a lot.
Yeah, that's a great start there. Julian, he was very glad to be here, and his brother had so much to say about him. And what they're most glad about is they're getting the attention finally. Julian's a senior. He wants to play college football. He wasn't getting those offers. He gets on campus with the Carters. Coaches start noticing him. And I think that play is going to lead off some of his tape. But now the kick is up with 8:48 left in the first quarter, and it goes into the end zone. So North Canyon lets it go, and will get the ball for their second drive. Now it's about how do you respond if you're North Canyon. You were able to move the ball downfield. You did great on special teams with a punt that you recovered, and then you were able to make a big play to get into the red zone. So that's going to be the key to this drive, is continue to move the ball and then finish.
The thing you talk about is you talk to Coach Johns, and they want the trenches to be their domination point. And they are going to have to run the football. You see the dynamic playmaking of Maryvale. The way you counteract that, you run the football, take some time off the clock. I know a lot of these guys go both ways, so you're not exactly resting your defense, but I promise you it's harder to play defense physically than it is offense.
From the 20-yard line, Carlos Ramondia, the quarterback, A.J. Garcia, the back in the backfield. Passes up, intended to Dom Dampier, a little bit high, and falls incomplete to bring up 2nd down and 10. You know, you mentioned the run game and needing to dominate in the trenches. Another way to get it going when it's not working is in those little passes right there, if you can get them complete and get some yardage that way.
Well, this offensive line for North Canyon, they have 3 multi-year starters back. And, you know, got a new transfer, Liam Royal, only a sophomore. But he's a big, big man who can definitely open some holes.
As A.J. Garcia gets the carry that time through a hole that was made by his line. But Maryvale flies to the football, and that's going to be a gain of maybe 3 yards. Yeah, you can see that time the line did a good job giving him a lane, but they just flew into the backfield. Jaden French the first to get there, and everybody else on the secondary in the linebacking crew was able to get in there as well.
A lot of black jerseys around the football. He took about 3-4 hits there for a 2-yard gain. They're going to have to get to that second level and get a hat on a hat.
3rd down and 8. North Canyon looking to pick up a first to keep this drive rolling. Passes up. Pass in and out of the bucket that time. Big time drop by number 3, trying to get it done for North Canyon there. Johnny Boggs definitely wishes he could have that one back.
Johnny Boggs had a chance there. Ball probably, if you're going to be picky, just a tad bit underthrown. And I think the Maryvale defender does get a hand on it, and that does throw off the trajectory just enough to make it a difficult catch.
Yeah, nice job there on the replay, getting a hand on that one in the secondary to make that happen. 4th down and 8. They bring out the punt unit once again. Punt is up and clean. Great punt that time. Backing him up, bobbled again by Miles Woods, but he recovers. He's working his way downfield, crosses midfield, breaks a couple tackles, still going. Miles Wood off to the races, and finally just decides to can it and walk out of bounds near the 25-yard line.
I always look when it's a big return. You always look and see if there's a flag on the field. No flag on the field, but you do have a North Canyon player down around the 48-yard line.
They got the training staff out there now, taking a look at them. Their head athletic trainer, Kristen Holland-Betcher. But right now, as we wait for this 6-0 game, we're going to step aside. This is the Arizona High School Football Showdown on CW7. Welcome back. Don't miss a down of CW College Football Saturday when Wake Forest goes head-to-head with ACC rival Virginia Tech. Coverage begins Saturday morning at 10 right here on CW7 Arizona. I'm excited to watch that matchup, and we're super excited for this one. Maryvale, the Panthers, up 6-0 with the ball once again. 1st and 10 starting this drive inside the 30-yard line. Masan Alekpovi's going to keep it himself on the RPO, but he is met in the backfield, nowhere to go, and brought down that time by number 45, Markel Arnold.
Well, he's going to get the credit, but give a whole lot of credit to Kevin Silva. It won't go in the statistics book, but without him, you never know what's going to happen on that play. Great job by number 18, getting upfield and detouring his path.
So that's going to bring up 2nd down and about 15 for the Panthers as Masan bobbles the snap a little bit, doesn't have a read. Now he does, turns upfield. Pass is caught in the back of the end zone. Miles Woods. Have a day, Miles. Give your team great field position. They go make a play in the end zone 2 plays later, and just like that, Maryvale commands a 12-0 lead.
I think somebody needs to go down there and measure Miles Woods. He is no more 6'1" than I'm 200 pounds, for crying out loud. Again, you just throw it up to your playmaker. Woods goes and grabs it right before he goes out of the back of the end zone. You look, you're in trouble as a quarterback. Where do you go? You look for number 4, and I think they're going to have a great connection all season long.
Yeah, why not Vail? These guys living it up already in the first quarter with 7:04 remaining. 12-0 lead. Now, the last point after attempt was bobbled, and the kick did not get off. So let's see if they cleaned that up this time. Kick is up, and the kick is good. 13-0 Maryvale over North Canyon. It's playoff season, and the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and the top drivers are laying it all on the line for points, pride, and bragging rights. Live from Charlotte Royale, coverage begins Saturday at 1:30 on CW7 Arizona. 13-0 game here, Dale, and like we said, it was very interesting heading into this game just how this team would mesh. But, you know, talking to the coaches before this game, they had to run 13 personnel in their last few games, having a lineman play quarterback. But in practice, this is what they were working on. They knew they were getting to this. In fact, their running back, Isaac Buchanan, didn't play last week against Combs because they knew they would needed him moving forward in this new offense. They wanted to make sure that he stayed healthy. As the kick is up. And we do have the play blown dead. But the Carters do seem like, as we await the call here,
Offsides. Encroachment on the kicking team. 5 yards, re-kick.
So encroachment on Maryvale, but, you know, like we're saying, it seems like the Carters went about this the right way with integrating these transfers so far. I know it's early, but they've done everything right.
Well, and also as a football player, you look at another guy and you go, he's good. You know, it's like he's a favorite or he's a coach's son or no way. But when you have somebody like Miles Woods, if you're the backup wide receiver, you just say, no, he's good, and you relish the opportunity to see him play and play with him.
And that is the feeling around this team as the kick is up for the second time, and once again, bouncing into the end zone, Saluma Wasoke. Great job so far in the kicking game for Maryvale.
Well,
now North Canyon.
And that's the other thing real quick was the fact that, you know, when you were talking to me about this Maryvale team having an offensive lineman, being a quarterback and running 13 personnel, and if you're North Canyon trying to get ready for this game, it's like, well, I'm not even going to study any of the tape because they haven't run one down of 13 personnel here early in the first quarter, and they're going to throw the ball down the football field.
Yeah, not very easy to get a read on what this team looked like until they stepped on the field. First down, A.J. Garcia breaks a tackle and then is brought down after a gain of 4. Looked like Jaden French in on the tackle first for Maryvale.
What's really interesting about this Maryvale defense, see Noah Hamilton in a couple plays here. Looks like there's an opening. Looks like there's a hole. But it closes up really fast with black jerseys flying to the football. And Hamilton in on his share of tackles already in this football game.
If these Panthers, they seem like there's a lot of group tackles. They just fly to the ball together, and that is something you want to see as a team. Second down and 6. Nowhere to go so far in the passing lane. He's going to take it himself, get a few yards, and slide for a first down. Great job there by Carlos Romandia, doing it himself.
And just barely getting that line of gain. Easy to see where the ball is. You start up on the 20-yard line. You got to get to the 30-yard line. Nobody open down the field. And then you just see all those black jerseys converge on them, and there's really nowhere to go with the football. A lot of white jerseys kind of standing in one place instead of moving around trying to help their quarterback.
As the next play does fall incomplete to bring up second down and 10. You know, you look at Carlos Romandia, and one thing that really stands out to him, according to coach, is that he's a true leader on campus. He's involved in their student government, and he's a guy that everyone on this team just feels comfortable being the leader of this team. There was never a doubt on who the leader of this program would be, and it really does start with him. You can see it a little bit in the way he's trying to navigate this offense and even do things himself at times. So second down and 10 for North Canyon. Going to sling it, that time caught. Number 4 makes the catch, Reed Preston, for a big gain.
One of those seniors, one of the nicer routes I've seen run by North Canyon tonight. Just a nice little out route. Ball came out on time. Pretty good coverage, just better execution by the Rattlers from North Canyon.
That great execution will set up third down and short for the Rattlers, trailing 13-0, just looking to get on the board on this drive as the play is blown dead at the snap.
We do get a false start. North Canyon, yeah.
So that's when things get tough, when you start getting positive plays.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense. 5 yards, remains third down.
and then immediately have them negated by penalties after. That is something that you do not want to see as a coaching staff.
You see Maryvale putting pressure on North Canyon's front five. They're blitzing in certain situations. And sometimes you get a little anxious as an offensive lineman because you see a guy going somewhere where you didn't expect him, and you want to get there quick. Sometimes that's before the ball snaps.
That'll bring up 3rd down and 7 as the student section over here for Maryvale gets hyped for their defense. AJ Garcia gets the carry up the gut, but he will be brought down just shy of the 1st down marker.
They got Ricky Guilford, the freshman, again in on the play, doing a really nice job. 6 foot, 175 pounds. When I was a freshman, I was about 5'9", 130 pounds. They grow them different these days.
I was maybe 5'7", $120, trying to play water polo and baseball, and I couldn't imagine freshmen being this big when I was in school. But now we get 4th down and short, and they're going to leave the offense out on the field. Big-time play call here by North Canyon. Ramondia is going to take it himself, but has nowhere to go. The line got in the backfield, and number 99, Marquis McCowan, one of the new transfers, gets there first.
Really nice job with penetration. Left side of that Maryvale defensive line would not allow him to get upfield. And once you start running sideways in the game of football, advantage defense, especially with the speed of Maryvale.
And especially on 4th down, too. You want to be able to get in the hole immediately. And once you start going outside, it's difficult to get there. So great job by this defense so far. They've given up a couple of plays, Maryvale's defense has, but they continue to show grit. 4:27 remaining in the 1st quarter as Maryvale steps on the field for the 3rd time on offense, starting this drive at the 36-yard line. So far, 4 plays, 2 touchdowns on offense. Little miscommunication in the backfield on the snap there, but Masson stiff arms a defender and then dives forward at the 30-yard line to pick up about 6.
You look at Masson there, obviously running back goes the wrong direction or the quarterback turns the wrong direction. We don't know what the concept of the play was, but you still have the wherewithal to tuck the ball, go out and get 6 yards, and it's 2nd down and 4. That's the remarkability of being an athlete and just making something happen.
It's the things you can't coach. Athleticism like that. 2nd down. Going to keep it himself that time. Pressure in the backfield. Pass falls incomplete, intended to Miles Woods. So that time the North Canyon front 7 really did its job and got in there quick.
Couple of the snaps a little bit high here early in the football game for Maryvale. That can throw off the whole jibe of the play, the timing, and all those things that are so important, whether you're going to do a run-pass option, hand the ball off, or throw the ball. Another high snap there.
3rd and 5, that time the carry to Isaac Buchanan, immediately met in the backfield and brought down by number 45, Markel Arnold, to bring up 4th down. Nice play there.
Yeah, one of those seniors, really nice job coming in from his defensive end position. Interesting to see what Maryvale decides to do here. Looks like they're going to line up in their offense and go for it on 4th and 5.
You're in that weird no man's land. A punt is kind of hard to not hit into the end zone. A field goal might be a little long, so why not go for it on 4th down? With a 13-0 lead, Masson Alekpovi, the quarterback, Isaac Buchanan in the backfield. That time high snap, but a flag at the snap. It's like a false start.
Yeah, it looked like the top of the screen there, Roderick Green.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense. 5 yards remains, 4th down.
Sometimes that means that the play is called to that wide receiver, and he wants to get into his route just a little bit quick. He's excited. He sees the right coverage. Now it brings up 4th down and 10.
These guys, one thing that the Cardinals kept saying about them, they all want to make plays, and that will lead to penalties like that every once in a while. 4th down, passes up, in and out of the arms, just a little bit outside that time to Julian Alekpovi. That will be a turnover on downs. Great stand there by the Rattlers. Down the field, Lexi Lambert has been tracking down all the stories. Lexi, what you got for us?
I'm down here with the SUCO Vice President and President. As you can hear, it is very loud. They have that school spirit. And And tonight is Hawaiian night, correct? Tell me a little bit about your guys' theme nights.
We normally have sports ambassadors, so we get together with them and they help us design our sports nights. We also get together with the coaches. Like our pink out is truly designed by the coaches. They tell us when they want to have it, and that's when we do it.
That's amazing. I love that. And you guys also, as a SUCO, go out and compete, network. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
So we're a part of this association, Arizona Association of Student Councils, AASC, and we go to conventions, conferences all over the state, and it's super fun. We get to meet other schools and other student councils. It's amazing.
I love that. Okay, back to you guys in the booth. They're going to keep bringing the spirit down here.
I could hear it and feel it in the booth, Dale. I mean, they're bringing the energy, and that's Stuco. From the things I've heard from the Carters and others, one of the best in the state. Their teachers won all kinds of awards, and it's exciting to see them bring the energy. On 2nd down and 10, AJ Garcia kicks the carry and gets maybe a yard before being brought down.
Well, it was about a half an hour before the game. You look in the stands, there wasn't a whole lot of people here. And now I look down there, and the entire home stands are filled and very excitable, and got the cheer squad, and you got the band, and everybody's involved, and it's a fun atmosphere, even on a Thursday night for high school football.
It's impressive to see. You know, Lexi was with the Carters earlier, as we see right now. We do have a player down on the field for Maryvale. That is Ricky Guilford as well. But, you know, when they talk about why not Vail, it's not just about football. It's the community they're bringing together. And, you know, football being as good as it's going to be, or as it's looking right now, is going to help bring that community. As we look ahead to their schedule as well for Maryvale, we've talked about the 1-4 start before all these transfers, but they've played a lot of really good teams. Eastmark is a top 4A team. Combs hasn't given up a single score all season long. After today, they get Copper Canyon, Alhambra, where some of these players are from, Carl Hayden Community, and Washington. You know, the Carters are focused on winning region play, and you don't want to take any team lightly, but that schedule gives them a chance.
It does, especially with the playmakers that they now have on their football team. And think about the Carters, seems like everywhere they go, they have success. And it's all about keeping the kids in your district, whether we're talking about North Canyon, whether we're talking about Maryvale, the kids in your area. Do you have the youth programs that they just feed into your high school? Because I remember, and I've told Brad Sesmat, I don't know what you guys call him, the big guy.
The big guy.
Or whatever his name is, yeah. He's bigger than I am. But back when I was in high school at Saguaro, we went to the state championship game, and the two teams we had to beat to get there were Trevor Brown and Maryvale. And to this day, I got to play a lot of football after high school. And the hardest hit I ever had was from a Maryvale player. That's when I realized as a snapper on punts, you need to change your timing, because this dude, I saw it on film, got 10 yards back, a running start, and hit me and just knocked me into next week, and it was crazy.
How big were you at that time? Because that's kind of crazy to hear.
I was about 6'4", 220, but I felt about 5'8", 130.
That's impressive to see that, Dale. I mean, I'm just picturing in my head, I can't see somebody knocking you down like that, but high school is a little bit different on that 3rd down play as quarterback scrambles to bring up 4th down.
I almost blocked the punt. I had to fall down, felt like my neck had come out of my back, and luckily I didn't. As you see this 3rd down situation bringing up 4th down, both teams in the middle of the field going for it.
Yeah, Carlos Romania doing everything he can with his legs today. I talked with Coach Johns, you know, ahead of this game, and he did mention he's got some wheels. You know, a lot of times they want to keep him in the pocket and drop back, but when he needs to make plays, they will call on his number and have no fear of what he can do. So 4th down and 4. He's going to roll out. Ball is up. Pass is caught. Nice job on the sidelines, high-pinning that ball. Johnny Boggs makes the play, and that picks up a 1st down.
I think they're going to are they calling that incomplete? Or the official.
Ooh, it was moving a little bit.
And the official made a motion like he was juggling the ball on the way out of bounds. And it looks like it's going to be Maryvale's ball.
Yeah, tough call in the moment there. Obviously, with replay, it was incomplete. He was bobbling it on the way out. But from here, and I'm sure down on the field at certain angles, that definitely looked like a catch. So tough break there for North Canyon as they trail 13-0 to Maryvale, who is looking to bounce back after 2 touchdowns on 4 plays and then turning the ball over on downs on their 3rd possession. As Meson Alekpovi brings the offense onto the field for the 4th time. Fakes the handoff to Buchanan. He's going to keep it himself. Gets a first down, and some of the ball is out. And it looks like he fell on it. Lucky break there for Meson and the Maryvale Panthers offense.
Really nice job, though. Again, he brings so much to the ball game. See him here, got to make sure that ball is secure, especially when you see all these white jerseys around you, because defenses now are taught every time you go for a tackle, you punch. And they work on punching the football out, and you see it on all different levels, and it's very effective a lot of the times.
I'm starting to see the comparisons the Carters gave to them. When they were at Desert Edge, they had a quarterback, Hezekiah Malinder, Buddha, and he was one play away from leading them to a state championship. This guy has a lot of that himself as Isaac Buchanan gets the carry, picks up a first down, and is eventually tackled near the 10-yard line. So 2 explosive plays open up this drive, get them inside the red zone.
Yes, really, really nice job by the quarterback here. We've talked about the snaps being a little bit high at times, and that snap was a little bit high. It's a quick handoff. He's able to grab the ball, get it down, hand it off, and you see the big run there for another first down.
To Isaac Buchanan, who's the new school single-game record holder. Back in week 1, 378 yards and 4 touchdowns with a team that was only running 13 personnel. That was an impressive performance for the young sophomore in his first varsity game. This time, he's going to keep it himself and maybe pick up 1 before being brought down.
I think the Carters will probably talk to him when he comes off, or maybe it's at halftime or here between quarters. I think he needs to hand the ball off a little bit more. He's kept it a few times when there's been some running room in the middle with his running back as the first quarter comes to an end.
As we get to the end of the first quarter here, Maryvale 13, North Canyon nothing. We'll be back for the second quarter. Great game so far. Maryvale strikes first to command a 13-0 lead. Jordan Spurgeon alongside Dale Hellestrade. We'll be back next. We had some technical difficulties, but we are back. Maryvale gets in the end zone to make it 20-0. Meson Alekpovi kept it himself, did some dancing, and punched it in. 19-0 after the missed extra point for Maryvale. So welcome back into the Fiesta Bowl High School Football Showdown. I'm Jordan Spurgeon alongside Dale Hellestrade here in the second quarter, as so far, through just over a quarter of play, it's been all Maryvale.
It has, and you can see the explosiveness of this Maryvale offense. And they can run the ball, they can throw the ball, they've got a dynamic quarterback, and they've got tremendous wide receivers that are going to put pressure on anybody they have to play this season.
Now North Canyon, handoff A.J. Garcia. Picks up a nice little gain before being brought down to bring up second down.
You also have to take your hats off. I mean, this defense, this black shirt defense, I don't know if they have a nickname for themselves or not, but if they continue to play like this, just all around the football, attacking it, they're going to call themselves something, black shirts or whatever, because they're doing a tremendous job keeping North Canyon at bay running the football.
Think of our sideline reporter, Lexi Lambert, in here, as we'll send her on that mission to find out as the pass is up and caught that time. One-handed grab. Excellent catch that time by number 4, Reed Preston, making the play.
Reed Preston, tremendous job. He had a chance on the sidelines in the last drive. Look at the one-handed catch, running a slant route, reaches behind him, gets that hand up in the air, brings it in, moves the chains. That's the play that kind of will highlight and ignite this North Canyon team.
Following that play on 1st and 10, that'll bring up second down and 11 after A.J. Garcia is brought. But I'm impressed so far with Reed Preston. You know, on the last drive, we saw him almost come up with that one down on the sideline, just bobbled it a little bit. But I can tell he knows how to get up there and high point the ball and make plays when this team needs him to. That alongside Dom Dampier, that's a really nice combo to have out there out wide. Second down and 11 for the Rattlers. Screen pass that time. A.J. Garcia gets a block, cuts up field, and falls just shy of the first down marker to bring up third down and short.
Really nice job. So much of screen pass play is acting. You got to act like you're pass blocking. Look at the black jerseys rushing the quarterback. Then all the white jerseys get downfield and block some of those extra Maryvale defenders, almost pick up the first down.
Third down and short. A.J. Garcia one-on-one, but not able to get by that man, number 99, Mark McCowan once again making a play on third down.
McCowan, a sophomore, 5'9", 250 pounds, low center of gravity. I used to hate to block guys, short guys who had a lot of ballast, which is what I would say McCowan had, because they are hard to move out of the lane.
And he's got some quick feet, too. That is tough to stop, especially as a sophomore. Fourth down and about 3 for the North Canyon Rattlers. We've seen them go for it twice already, yet to convert. But Anthony Johns, knowing a 13-0 game, he's going to stay aggressive. Try to keep this offense on the field. Now we're going to get a timeout by Coach Johns and the Rattlers, their first charge timeout of the half.
Timeout, offense.
So going forward on fourth down, 3 times already early in the game, I like that philosophy. I think when you know you're already down 13-0, you're playing with nothing to lose. This is a program that had lost 23 straight games heading into this year, but we'll have more on this matchup. Maryvale leads 13-0 here on the High School Football Showdown. Welcome back into the High School Football Showdown here on CW7 Arizona. I'm Jordan Spurgeon alongside Dale Hellestray up here in the Santan Ford broadcast booth. 13-0 lead for Maryvale in the second quarter, 19-0 lead with 9:12 remaining in the first half there to bring up, as North Canyon comes up, fourth down and 3 with 9:12 remaining in the half. Snap is bobbled that time, but Ramondia is going to keep it himself and slide after picking up a first down. Nice job there staying with that play and making things happen.
Well, it's one of those situations where great job by the quarterback. Watch him get the first down, then he goes into a slide and then contact. I think that's a nice job by the officials not calling that. You see that at the collegiate level, and in the NFL, most times the flag's coming out, even though I don't think that deserved one.
As A.J. Garcia has a little bit of nice footwork dancing around near the line of scrimmage to pick up 5. And I agree that time, because the quarterback is making a smart play getting down, but the defender doesn't have time to stop himself fully.
It's amazing what they think an athlete can do going 100 miles an hour. Oh, no, you're supposed to stop on a dime.
Second down and 5 for the Rattlers, as Ramondia looks to continue to lead the offense, trying to get on the board for the first time, trailing 19-0. Passes up, passes complete. That time, Johnny Boggs makes a few man miss and is finally tackled near the 10-yard line. Nice job there by Johnny Boggs.
Really nice job, as you're going to see what happens here. You roll out to your right, you're a left-handed quarterback, and that just takes so much skill and athleticism to get your hips turned so you can get enough velocity on the football to complete the pass.
As we get a timeout here by Maryvale as North Canyon enters the red zone. 19-0 lead for Maryvale. We've seen them hold inside the red zone a couple times already tonight. This is a big moment in this game. Maryvale's had a lot of momentum. Their last couple drives have stalled. And now North Canyon, who's been able to put together a couple drives, is looking to finish it for the first time tonight.
One of the scouting reports that you were kind enough to get for me, you talked about Ramondia. Mobile quarterback can make plays outside the pocket. Well, again, we just saw that right there. But just as important to me, he's a kid who's involved in student government. He's a leader all across the campus, and those are the stories that I love to see. I saw a chart this morning about how many kids get to go play college football, and then how many kids can play Division I football. But tell you what, you get involved on campus, you're a leader, you'll find your way in or out of sports.
It's something that these teams and these coaches really pride themselves as. Now North Canyon enters the red zone. Our red zone sponsor in tonight's game is Phillips Law Group. Everything you need to win, including a Phillips. First down and 10, Ramondia. Screen pass to Garcia. Nice job getting that up and over the defender. Garcia breaks a few tackles and then is brought down. And once again, inside the red zone, our sponsor of tonight's game, Phillips Law Group for the red zone. Everything you need to win, including a Phillips.
Going to keep an eye on number 50 for Maryvale, Tariq Hanna. Defensive end, he's a junior, 6'2", about 210 pounds. He's number 50. He's doing a tremendous job rushing the quarterback, but I'm going to see if he gets a hint of when the next screen comes, and if he doesn't make a play on that next
Second
screen.
down and 8. A.J. Garcia going, but big low tackle that time by number 1, Julian Alekpovi, to bring him down. Flying out of nowhere.
See all those white jerseys getting a little penetration and get a hand on it, and then, boy, you go low, and nice job there by number 24, A.J. Garcia, getting his foot out of the ground so there was not a knee injury.
Carlos Ramondia, the quarterback, with Garcia back there. On third down, turns to the end zone, pass nearly caught, looked like it might have gotten deflected that time by Miles Wood, but the pass was intended for number 4, Reed Preston.
When you see Reed Preston, really nice, big, tall target over the middle there, ball thrown a little bit behind him. One that I think that if you ask him, as he's watching film, he can say, yeah, I need to catch that. And I think you'll see him improve as his season goes along.
So inside the red zone, fourth down, the Rattlers are going to go for it as Ramondia has nobody downfield, tries to take it himself, and he's going to move forward, still on his feet, breaking tackles, and moves inside the 5 to pick up a first down.
Well, that was one heck of an individual effort. Looks like he's down here. Look at all the black jerseys around him. Keeps spinning around, able to pick up a couple more yards. Just enough to pick. Well,
now they're going to say it wasn't enough after they spot the ball. So just like that, Maryvale's going to get the football inside the 5-yard line. From here, it really looked like he got over there. So as they step aside for a quick timeout, as Maryvale gets ready to bring the offense out. Following tonight's game, be sure to stick around for Police 24/7, only on CW7 Arizona. Ride shotgun with officers for an inside look at law enforcement on the job. It's unexpected, intense, raw, and always unforgettable. Police 24/7 tonight on CW7 Arizona.
I wonder if next week, since I'm only doing a couple games, if Brad's not trusting me all the way through, I wonder if I can get the controls of the drone up here while we're doing that. That's pretty cool.
The Sports 360 AZ drone is something special as Masson carries it himself, but the ball comes out once again, punched out, and North Canyon is going to find themselves back in the red zone after recovering the fumble.
Well, and you look at it, and he's still down on the ground. He's holding his calf. Let's hope it's maybe a cramp, not his knee. Let's see him as he squirts through here. Again, I think that's the one thing that they're going to talk about when they watch film probably, well, tomorrow, since this is a Thursday night game. He's got to get that ball secure and hold it closer to his body. Make sure he has his hand tucked tightly to his body. That's 2 times now we've seen when he runs through traffic, ball's hanging out a little bit and it gets knocked away. Great field position now for North Canyon.
For Masson Alekpovi, good to see him walking up the field by himself. We'll see if we can get an update on that later on. But now for North Canyon, they weren't able to finish the last drive, turning it over on downs inside the 5, but now starting first and goal from the 10-yard line as A.J. Garcia takes it himself and is going to walk right into the end zone to get North Canyon their first score of the night, to make it 19-6 as the Rattlers find pay dirt.
When you see A.J. Garcia, I mean, he looks like a natural running back. Only a junior coming back for another season, and look at just the natural instincts of cutting back across the grain. Great balance. Gets into the end zone and gives this North Canyon football team some new life.
Yeah, coming into this game, averaging 4.8 yards per carry. That's a pretty solid number. That's basically 2 runs for a first down almost every single drive. Coming into this game, as that time the kick is no good, so the score remains 19-6. So the junior running back, A.J. Garcia, getting it done. for North Canyon. As we take a look here, Saturday evening, the toughest bull riders on earth face off in the PBR Camping World Series. It's a thrill ride from start to finish. Live on CW7 Arizona this Saturday at 5. You ever been around bull riding, PBR?
I have. I actually thought about riding one up in Cave Creek.
Up in Cave Creek. I had some friends do that. They come back with nice purple quads after that.
No, I had really good friends who said, don't be an idiot, Dale.
Yeah, I've had a chance to be up in the chute before over at PBR. And
yes.
Man, those bull riders, I mean, you know it as a football guy. I mean, this is a physical sport. Those guys are riding with broken wrists and elbows and shoulders, and it's insane what they do. They're crazy. As we get a squib kick here, Miles Woods recovers it for Maryvale, hurdles a defender before heading out of bounds.
What I've always said is the rodeo riders are tougher than anybody.
Yeah.
Because number one, if you said, because I know some of them, when you talk about rodeo guys and you look at it and you go, okay, I don't get paid unless I ride. I don't.
Yeah.
And so broken bones, broken thumbs, and things like that. Hey, in football, it's a tough sport, but you know what? I can go on IR and take a few weeks off to heal up.
Yeah,
So.
I'd rather be up here in the Santan Ford broadcast booth than out there on a bull. It looks fun, but the beating they put up with is something incredible. You know, football's like getting hit by a car every Friday. That's got to be like getting hit by a semi-truck.
Yes.
Pretty much. The force those bulls can have is incredible. But yeah, you want to meet tough guys. Those are some of the toughest guys and girls that do it as well in the world, 100%. So you can definitely catch that on CW7 Arizona. But right here on CW7 Arizona, we've got the high school football showdown. Maryvale in the first half, 19-6 lead. As Masan Alekpovi back on the field, pass to Miles Woods, who makes a tackle or miss, but is still on his feet as they blow the ball dead. Good to see Masan Alekpovi back on the field after going down with some sort of calf thing last drive.
Nice job by the white jerseys. Get up there, and you talked about it. Johnny Boggs coming up, not making the tackle on the first attempt, but he did not give up. Spun around, still got in on the tackle. Nice effort play by Johnny Boggs there.
Second down and 9. A little miscommunication in the backfield, but no problem for Masan Alekpovi as he makes a couple of defenders miss. Takes number 6 on himself before being brought down. I mean, he shoved his way for an extra 6-7 yards at the end of that play. Wow.
That is 2 times now we've seen where either the running back's going the wrong way or the quarterback's turning the wrong way, but then the quarterback does a great job ad-libbing, goes ahead and gains 20, 30, 40 yards. Talk about Masan there on that play. But they're marching back. Looks like a penalty.
Number 1 of the offense, 5 yards from the previous spot. Repeat, second down.
It's a tough break there as Julian Alekpovi commits the penalty. But like you said, we've seen that miscommunication in the backfield. But I think it's important to note, too, this backfield, they're both sophomores. Isaac Buchanan barely getting his first varsity starts. This is his 6th one ever. Masan Alekpovi got a lot last year at Alhambra, but these two are going to have a lot to learn from each other. But the fact they're already making plays in game 1 together says a lot, despite some of the miscommunications we're seeing. Second down and 15. This time Buchanan gets the ball. Buchanan gets a block, makes a tackle or miss, gets to midfield, and then is brought down that time by number 18, Kevin Silva, in on the tackle. So get half those yards back.
Talk about Buchanan, only a sophomore, running off left tackle, tremendous job, and then cuts back, and that's where so many hidden yards are when a running back has that feel to cut back across the green. When everybody's running one way, you're going another. A lot of times it's hard to get you down on the ground.
As they cross midfield, Maryvale 1st and 10, the North Canyon 39-yard line. Why not go right back to Buchanan, who picks up another 4 to 5 yards.
Well, what's always interesting to me, because, yeah, I've coached in Arizona for a long, long time, and a lot of people go, well, that was pretty good defense. But they gained 5 yards on first down. If I'm the play caller, I'm running again because the last 2 plays, they have not stopped my run. And guess what? I'm going to run it even if they stop me one time, just to make sure they didn't stop it by mistake.
And Isaac Buchanan, I got to know him a little bit at practice, just seeing him work back there, and he is a guy, he never wants to come off the field. He's ready to run every single play. He wants his number called. As Messon Alekpovi heaves it downfield, that time overthrown and picked off by Dom Dampier, who has plenty of room to work with, gets some blocks. He's trying to get back to midfield, forced out of bounds at the 44-yard line. And North Canyon, building some momentum off the score, gets an interception this time by Dom Dampier. Well, that's exactly what you want if you're North Canyon. Trailing 19-6, and after being down 19-0, you're still in this game after a score and now an interception deep downfield.
Again, I look at it and I go, okay, what's wrong with running the football again? You throw the ball down, there's double coverage, nice defensive call by the North Canyon defensive coordinator, and you throw it into that coverage, and then a great play. You could call the exact perfect coverage, but yet your defense still has to make a play. North Canyon able to do that.
We talked about Dom Dampier in pregame, the brother of Utah quarterback Devin Dampier, someone to watch for in the Heisman race. And if you missed the pregame, Devin Henry on our team, who's going to have more coming up at halftime, he got to, get to talk to Dom and some of these guys. The jerseys that they're wearing, especially at home, they were donated by Devin Dampier. He was able to get the new jerseys. They hadn't had new jerseys in 6 years, so that is really cool to see for that program. And then we've mentioned it a couple times. These jerseys look good, the Vail jerseys for Maryvale.
Yes. Yeah, very, very nice.
The Fiesta Bowl High School Football Showdown on CW7 Arizona is brought to you by Chapman Automotive Group. Visit chapmanaz.com. Desert Financial Credit Union. We believe in contributing to the community and our members. And Phillips Law Group. Everything you need to win, including a Phillips.
Aerial coverage of the high school football showdown on CW7 Arizona, brought to you by Sports 360 AZ, bringing you coverage across the state at all levels, especially here at the high school level. You can find all of the coverage at sports360az.com. You see Spirit down there. The Fiesta Bowl does a great job with these games, by the way, having the custom belts for the player of the game, so we'll be keeping our eye out for who that is later on today as well. 1st and 10, AJ Garcia gets the carry and is met by 2 Maryvale players that time for a gain of about 3.
Oh, Miles Woods, not only can he catch the football, but he can come up and make a physical tackle from that safety position that he also plays. 2nd
down and 6. Passes up and does fall incomplete, bobbled in and out of the hands that time of Reed Preston. You know this as well. You look across high school football in Arizona, 6A, 5A, you don't see too many of these two-way guys as you see that time the passing completion. But when you get down to 4A, 3A, 2A, 1A, you can't just get good football players that play one position. You've got to get great football players that love the game, that are willing to go play both sides and try to dominate.
And be in condition. You see a lot of these guys become really much better as the season goes along, as the weather cools down a little bit, and you see another tremendous effort to get the first down. And this North Canyon offense is awoken from the dead. Looks like he's right there. Looks like they're trying to set up the screen. Nobody to go to. Able to pick up the first down. Keep this drive alive. Really, really nice job by Romandia.
Yeah, great job there by Romandia. I want to get back to that conditioning, too, in a moment after this play, as Garcia gets the carry and is tackled after about 3. But, so many parents and student athletes that I talk to, they think, oh, you got to go to the big schools and get this. But what I've come to learn, the conditioning is such a factor at these levels that if you're a football player that loves to play and can play and you're physical and you can play both sides, colleges are going to love that. They're going to find you. Your tape will speak for itself, and they're going to be like, that guy could play 150 snaps in a game. He's going to be just fine playing on one side of the ball in college, conditioning-wise at least. 2nd down and 8 for the Rattlers. As Romandia, that time pass a little short, set up 3rd down and 8.
Well, to talk about what you were just talking about as far as recruiting, you see some of these, I was talking to a couple guys before the game, and there's been a couple quarterbacks who transfer into a certain program, will remain unnamed. Now they got 3 quarterbacks. Well, guess what? 2 of them aren't going to play.
Right.
And I'm sorry, colleges do not recruit for practice team.
Yep.
You got to go somewhere where you can play. And what better place to come and play than a Maryvale, North Canyon, Alhambra, schools like that, that if you show your wares, I promise you, they will find you.
And showing his wares that time, the freshman, Kevin, they call him Scatter Smith, making the big-time play for the Maryvale.
Did you see the burst in closing speed? And then I looked down at my roster, and he's only a freshman, 6'3", 205.
I mean, seriously, what are these kids eating? Freshmen built like that. I haven't seen. There's some seniors out here that are great players not built like that.
I mean, in 3 years, he's going to be 6'4", 6'5". He's going to have 245, 250 pounds of the body and still move like that. That's a tremendous play. And boy, if you're a Maryvale fan, you got to be excited.
To the Smith family, I feel bad for your grocery bill because it's got to be high. And whatever he's eating, I guarantee you the Carters are going to tell him to keep eating more as they get stronger. So hopefully, take care of that in the fridge. It's not easy. That time, the punt.
This will be an interesting call. I think it'll, if anything, it should be running to the punter.
As we await for the call from the head official down there.
This is a little conversation because North Canyon can decide to take it and repunt it.
Running into the kicker, defense. 5 yards from the previous spot. Replay, 4th down.
So that's the important distinction,
Yes.
and that time they do want to repunt it.
As you can see here, I thought this was more of a block into him.
It's a really tough call that time. I could see why there was a little extra discussion as well, but that is a big distinction in that one, only getting 5 yards.
And so with that 5 yards, does that do anything for this North Canyon offense and Coach Johns? Does he decide, hey, we might go for it here? There's 1:39 left in the second quarter. Still 4th down. It's 4th down and 9. I don't know why the yard marker's back where it was.
It's like they're going to try to get that situated down there, but it is an interesting discussion to have because if you go for it and don't get it, you give Maryvale a shot to get the ball one more time, and they receive the second half kickoff. So you're looking at potentially a 14-point swing. Now they're moving the chains. So now it looks like they decided to not take the penalty at this point. I'm guessing Coach Johns and his staff decided to take that back because they just moved the chains all the way down, and Maryvale is getting set to bring out their offense. So yeah, they decided to keep the penalty, so a little delayed discussion there.
Very interesting, and again, I think if you're a Maryvale, you're going, well, do we want to go ahead and accept the penalty? They have 4th down over again, 4th down and 9. Do they go for it? Could we possibly give up points again before the half? Since this North Canyon offense has been kind of on a roll here in the second quarter. Or do we go and take the ball? Always the safer thing.
With 1:39 remaining in the first half, Maryvale has a 19-6 lead. They're going to start on offense at their own 14-yard line as Isaac Buchanan gets the carry, gets some blocks, smoothly moves their lane, but again, a fumble on the field. Dom Dampier picks it up, his second turnover picked up of the day, and he's still going on his feet. Dom Dampier, did he cross the end zone? They're going to say he stepped out of bounds inside the 1-yard line, so North Canyon ends up getting the ball back.
Well, there's a couple things we're going to realize that Maryvale, I mean, again, just the way the ball's being carried by some of these skilled guys to Maryvale, not taking anything away from their skill, but the most important thing is you got to keep control of the football.
Yeah, that's one of those things. I'm sure you've been in some of these practices before where, come Monday, there's going to be a lot of punching of the football from the coaching staff or from other teammates, and I think that's going to be a very high emphasis for this team.
Well, and it's not even really, when you look at it, these aren't tremendous defensive plays. It's defenders just reaching out trying to tackle them. Whereas you've seen some at both the college NFL level where a punch on the football, that's really hard to keep secured. It's just ball security for Maryvale. And you see the talent on this football team, and you do not want not securing the football to affect outcomes of football games.
If you've missed anything, 19-6 games so far, if you missed any parts of tonight's game, you'll get a chance to see it all again this Saturday night on CW7 Arizona, which you can see on YouTube TV, Hulu Plus Live, Fubo, DirecTV, and of course, live streamed and archived on CW7AZ.com. There's going to be so many highlights you're going to want to go back and circle in this game. Lots of great plays so far from both teams. And in a 19-6 game with 1:25 remaining, North Canyon has a chance to cut the deficit down.
Now, are you going to go watch that again on Saturday so you can see how small you were in the pregame? Or are you just going to let that go?
You know, I already got the text from the fiance, my short king and all that stuff. And as Carlos Romandia walks into the end zone unscathed to get North Canyon into pay dirt.
I mean, you're between two good-looking, tall dudes.
You know, as they get into the end zone here, you know, it's a tough scene sometimes, but you work with what you got. But great job there by North Canyon taking advantage of this. 19-12 game. They've already had a kicking trouble a couple times tonight, so they're going to go for 2 as well. Romandia, back pass, just rushed it a little bit outside the outstretched arms of his receiver, and the score remains 19-12. So 7-point game with 1:22 left in the half.
Think about what just happened. You decline the penalties, so you have the football. You have break a really nice run. You're going to drive down the football field. You turn the ball over, and that's what you call complementary football. Your defense not only gets the turnover, but returns it down inside the 5-yard line, and then your offense goes in and scores a touchdown. And now where's the momentum? You're sitting here, it's 19-12 with 1:22 left in the half. If it ends this way, North Canyon is going to walk into that locker room feeling pretty good about themselves and the way they ended that second quarter.
And one interesting note I got talking to Coach Johns, because I never really heard this perspective, you know, heading into this season, a 23-game losing streak. Last week, they had a 28-3 lead at half over Rio Rico. The guys didn't know how to act. They were so used to always being down. So in a way, they're almost in a position they're more used to, and that could benefit them as Miles Woods picks up the kick, the squib kick that time, and gets it upfield towards the 40-yard line. So Maryvale not going away. They've made some mistakes, but they want to continue to extend this lead before halftime.
And what I want people to keep an eye on, obviously tremendous athleticism right here. Ball's bouncing around, picks it up, and then explodes off the middle line. Kickoff return. But I am noticing quite a bit of cramping on the Maryvale sideline, as you can see right there. I mean, you're talking about Julian Alakopovi. He's limping. We see calf cramps from a number of Maryvale football players, and it'll be fascinating to see. They still got a whole nother half to go, and it's not that hot of a night. I'm going to tell you this as a coach for a long time here in Arizona, when the weather cools down, you tell them pound water. The weather cools down. Now it's harder to drink water during the day.
And the other side of it is this is the first game action for a lot of these guys so far this season. They didn't play in the heat yet. I know it's not as hot as on first down. Number 11 gets the carry for Maryvale. That's Deshaun Mitchell. Deshaun Mitchell that time gets the carry. One of the other transfers for Maryvale, wearing number 11. He took over the number 11 jersey today for the Panthers. So first down and 10 from the 30. As Masan Alakovi makes a few guys miss and continues to work his way upfield before being brought inside the 10-yard line.
Only a sophomore. And I think this might be the only team in the state of Arizona who has their height listed in programs at less than their actual height. Because there's no way he's 5'10 or 5'11.
Yeah, there's something to it as Maryvale's going to take a timeout. You know, Deshaun Mitchell there, who had the carry, came in from Desert Edge, was there with the Carters as well. As we go ahead and take a look At tomorrow's action, don't miss a down of CW College Football Saturday when Wake Forest goes head-to-head with ACC rival Virginia Tech. Coverage begins Saturday morning at 10 here on CW7 Arizona. Man, the slate that CW has gotten this year with college football has been really, really good so far. I know there's so many great college games, but they've had so many fun ones to watch this year.
Doing a really nice job, and obviously now the high school football on Thursday nights, and just take you all the way through the weekend. You see all these yellow jackets around the football field too. Fiesta Bowl out here supporting this football game, CW7 and these two programs. Really cool to see all those guys.
And what's cool about this backfield as well, so we saw Isaac Buchanan, he's been the one leading this team, but Deshaun did come into this team to become one of those running backs, and Coach said Isaac has earned the opportunity. After that fumble, they've decided to give Deshaun Mitchell a bit of an opportunity as first action here, coming over from Desert Edge High School, as we do get a penalty on this play.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense. 5 yards, still first down.
So false start that time, just a little bit jittery with 45 seconds left. They want to get into the end zone. You can feel how much they want it, but they just got to take a deep breath, get the snap off.
Well, it's one thing, obviously you score here, you're going to have about 26, 27 points on the board, and you're going to be able to go in at halftime, and you're the Carters, and you can say, we played really, really sloppy in the first half.
And to still have a lead that you can extend in this position, as it looks like we're going to get another offensive penalty.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense. 5 yards,
back-to-back
remains first down.
False start penalties that time for Maryvale. And like you said, the Carters are definitely going to feel good about having a lead going into halftime, especially if they can extend it here. But that's going to be one of the first conversations, that and holding the football out, away from your body.
No, not only the pre-snap penalties that we've talked about, you can control those, but also putting the ball on the carpet. You can say carpet here. Really nice football field. Yeah. The AstroTurf out here. That's a good-looking field. Got to walk on it before the game. Really nice stadium here for Maryvale. You can see big things coming.
And as we get closer to halftime, make sure you continue to tune in. We have a great segment. We're going to learn a little bit more about Dale Hellestrae. He sat down with Bruce Cooper, another legend here in the Valley. Really enjoyed that conversation. You guys are going to get a look at that. As Devin Henry will bring you all of the halftime action with highlights from this game and more from across Arizona. So don't go anywhere at halftime, as we've got a great show lined up for you.
Does anybody want to know any more about me? Are you kidding me?
As Masan Alekpova, that time, bad snap, makes something out of nothing, but the pass does fall incomplete to bring up second down. That time, just a high snap that time, Dale, and Masan, being the athlete he is, was able to pick it up and within a couple steps get it out.
We've seen a number of high snaps, and he's done a tremendous job grabbing most of them, and even on those quick handoffs, as we pointed out, which kind of throws the timing of the playoff, he's been able to make a play that time too high for even him to get it.
So Masan Alekpova back to pass, passes up, and no one around, as that'll bring up third down and goal from inside the 20.
I think he's going to look at it and say that's probably one of his throws that he'd like to have back here in the first half. And again, as a sophomore, imagine him with another spring with the Carters and a summer and 7-on-7s and all that. I think it's going to be fun to watch this Maryvale program along with Miles Woods, who's only a junior.
I'm not around the 7-on-7s too much, but as I was getting ready for this, I was digging through the summer just to kind of get a feel for some of these transfers. They looked incredible on the 7 circuit. I saw them out at Just Chili's Flight Club making plays. A lot of them, made the team out there. As on third down and goal, passes up towards Miles Woods, and it does fall incomplete. And that'll bring up fourth down and goal for the Panthers. But it is fun when you have this level of receivers with a quarterback like this, because when you get in those situations, especially in 7s, and then it translates onto the field, you have the potential to become one of the most fun teams to watch on a week-to-week basis.
No doubt, and then you develop trust with your quarterback and your receiver, and all that just rolls in to the football season. I mean, again, just 7-on-7. You can be really good 7-on-7, not real good at football.
Right.
But I promise you, it helps you a ton if you are good at 7-on-7.
You know it better than anybody. 7-on-7 is great, but the trenches is where the games are won and lost, and that's what gets lost here. So the kick bounces off a North Canyon helmet. They're going to have a chance to return this one. As number 7 is bursting upfield. He continues to go, and just like that, North Canyon with Jamorian Barron taking it all the way, gets on the board to make it a 19-18 game. How about that for special teams? I haven't seen that. Off the helmet on the line and then returned for a touchdown. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Well, it's one of those things. You've struggled to make an extra point, and now you try a fairly long field goal, high school level, and you just see the speed down the sideline. That's why the football's shaped oblong, because you just don't know how it's going to bounce. Tremendous job. That looks like number 7 for North Canyon. That's Barron again.
Yep, doing his dance over there, doing his dance, celebrating, because just like that, they're one extra point away from tying it, or a 2-point conversion at this point, from taking the lead. This game changed quick. Maryvale got off to a quick 19-0 lead early in the second quarter. But North Canyon has shown so much fight already. Coach Johns has prepared this team for this moment, knowing that they've got nothing to lose.
They have
and they're here to win.
lose, and they are making less mistakes than Maryvale is right now.
So Carlos Ramondio, the quarterback, comes in for a 2-point conversion. AJ Garcia, the back, going to try to get him a block, but Maryvale does a great job keeping him there. And so the score remains 19-18.
Boy, oh boy. I mean, he took it. If my body bent like that, you better send a helicopter ambulance, because I'm not getting up. The way his body got bent, look at him.
It's running right off.
My goodness gracious.
And right,
I mean, seriously, sitting up here, my back hurt when I saw him get bent back like that.
Just start hearing the cracks and the flashbacks coming back from when you were playing against Maryvale all those years ago, taking your biggest hit ever, huh?
Biggest, hardest hit ever, and that's saying a lot. But back then, I got to play in Dallas with Darren Woodson, Felipe Sparks, legends, greats here at Maryvale over the years, and that's what the Carters want to restore, is the greatness that was once Maryvale. And it's going to take a little bit of work, but if you're going to ask 2 guys to do something, the Cars are the guys you want on the job.
Absolutely. And for North Canyon, a moment ago, you saw the cheerleaders getting so hyped up, and the fans they do have here, they're just so excited to see this game right now, and to see this team only down by 1 point. This, like you said, this has been a very unique game. Maryvale, showing off their new talent, getting off to a hot start, and then making a bunch of mistakes. But North Canyon, you have to give them credit. When you take advantage of mistakes and don't make your own, you're going to win a lot of ball games that way.
I mean, you give up 19 points like North Canyon did, and it looks like Maryvale's much more skill-talented than you are. And yet you buckled down, you found a way, and now you're sitting there looking at it, and you are 1 point behind them with 19 seconds left in this half.
And you can take a punch and then stand there unfazed. That is the mark of a team that is just committed to winning at all costs. This is a team that is ready to make that turn. As we get another high snap, Masan Alakpovi just going to do what he can before being brought down for a gain of 5.
Yeah, I'm not so sure you just let this half run out, because it has not been going the right way for Maryvale here in the second quarter.
And it does look like they are going to let the clock run. So at halftime, 19-18 game. Jordan Spurgeon alongside Dale Hellestray. Our drone coverage, aerial coverage brought to you by Sports 360 AZ. As we wait to hear from the coaches with Lexi Lambert, I mean, what are your immediate takeaways from this first half?
I tale of two quarters in the first half. I mean, Maryvale, I thought they might have a running clock by the end of the third, early fourth quarter, and then they started making mistakes, and North Canyon did not take a step back and continue to press forward.
So Maryvale has the 1 point lead, but like you said, it's a tale of 2 quarters so far in this one as we wait for Lexi Lambert down there on the field with one of the coaches. Lexi, what you got for us?
Yeah, I'm down here with Coach Mark Carter from Maryvale. Coach, you guys came out strong, but then we saw North Canyon gain some momentum. What are you guys going to be doing to try to stop that?
We just got to take care of the ball. You know, just uncharacteristic penalties and turnovers. You can't win football games like that. I don't care who you play. I don't care how good you are. If you turn the ball over and you know, making mistakes, that's what's going to happen. You know, they came to win, so we have to continue to do what we did when we came out the game, and we'll be okay.
And what are you going to be telling your boys in the locker room right now?
Just stay focused and focus on the fundamentals. You know, looking at the ball before it's snapped. You know, having the ball high and tight. You know, we do those things, we'll be okay.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lexi. Great job there as we get set for halftime. Don't go anywhere. Devin Henry has the full coverage for you. Lots of action in this first half in a 19-18 game where the home team, Maryvale Panthers, have the lead. Their student section showing out, their fans showing out, their cheerleaders putting on a show at halftime. We'll have more right after the break. Maryvale leads 19-18 over North Canyon heading into the second half, but down there with Coach Anthony Johns, North Canyon, is Lexi Lambert. Lexi?
Yes, I am down here with Coach from North Canyon. What did you tell your boys in the locker room? Because you guys had momentum going out of that first half.
Yeah, we just told our guys to continue to weather the storm. We know they'd come out hot and on fire, and we weathered the storm pretty good, and we just want to continue doing that.
What are you looking for out of them for this second half?
Just to continue to fight. Yeah, I mean, just to continue to battle with the guys, and they're doing good and they're playing hard, so we're just trying to keep that up.
Perfect. Thank you, Coach. Best of luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lexi. Great job there with Coach Anthony Johns. And welcome up to the Santan Ford broadcast booth. I'm Jordan Spurgeon alongside Dale Hellestray, and he said it there, weathering the storm. I mean, you can't weather a storm better than they did. Going down 19-0. And then only trailing 19-18 and a half.
Yeah, you're almost looking at, hey, is it going to be running clock? And yet you see this North Canyon team never say die. Fought back. Obviously, Maryvale will stop it with the football, with penalties. Be interesting to see how the second half gets underway because, in my mind, so often early in the third quarter kind of dictates how the second half goes. And as I'm looking at myself on the screen, I might be the only guy who doesn't like 4K or 3K because this high definition TV, it shows every wrinkle, and I got a face for radio.
That's all right. I get you there. But, you know, it's important. You know, we hear it a lot here in the Valley. The middle eight from Coach Kenny Dillingham at ASU. That does play a large role. And right now, at this point in the game, North Canyon is winning the first half of that middle eight. We're going to see who takes advantage of it in that second half of the middle eight here as Maryvale will receive the opening kickoff to start the second half. And, you know, Lexi caught up with the coaches before halftime as well, and it was pretty clear, hey, we're making great plays. We need to take care of the football and just play within ourselves. And if they can do that, they shouldn't have any issues.
You look at Maryvale, and obviously they have that dynamic playmaking ability from their athletes and some of those transfers. And North Canyon just kind of, it's almost like the tortoise and the hare. And North Canyon just plodding, and Maryvale got off to a fantastic start in that first quarter. And yet we look at it at halftime, we come out here in the third quarter, it's 19-18. They both got to the same spot in different fashions.
And that is the beauty of playing a full game of football as we get set for the second half here on the Fiesta Bowl High School Football Showdown on CW7 Arizona, Week 6. We've seen so many great games, and we're due for another great second half. And this one, another squib kick as Julian Alekpovi's going to pick it up, gets some blocks, cuts upfield. Can anyone catch him as a flag comes on the field? No one. Yep, and they are going to catch him inside the 10-yard line. Nice job there making up ground. But we do have a flag. This one maybe coming back a little bit.
Well, we can see a second look at that because I'm not sure what the call is going to be. They're probably going to call holding or... But where that holding was called, it'd be interesting to see if we get a shot of that. Another cramp, it looks like.
Yeah, usually
during the return, illegal block in the back of the return team, 10 yards from the spot, first down.
You see the athleticism? They're breaking out in the open. And that's where they call the illegal block in the back. And I just, again, that's not an illegal block in the back.
Maybe more of a face mask at that point.
Anyway, they're going to start off with the ball at the 45-yard line. But you just see the dynamics of this Maryvale team. And once they put it all together, make sure they don't have the turnovers and the pre-snap penalties. I think this might be a team to keep an eye on the second half of the season.
So we mentioned in the first half, Isaac Buchanan getting most of the carries, but after a fumble, we have seen Deshaun Mitchell get a lot of those duties now, and he is going to start the second half at running back, the transfer out of Desert Edge. Mitchell gets some blocks, cuts up the middle, still going, keeping his legs moving, and will eventually be brought down near the 30-yard line for a first down.
Well, that time you see the quarterback and the running back mesh at the point of attack. And also the reason you can kind of look at that, which way the running back is going, because you got number 4, that's Miles Woods out there. You can hand the ball off, or you can pull the handoff out and throw it out to number 4 and see what he can do. So a little run-pass option when you do that.
It's time to get deep into the RPO. They're bouncing off a would-be tackler, but nowhere to go for Mitchell as number 24, A.J. Garcia, gets back there to finish the job.
You can see the physicality that Mitchell runs with there, and nice job by that front 4 of the North Canyon.
And tonight's aerial coverage is brought to you by Sports 360 AZ. For all the best coverage around high school football, as well as the college and pro ranks, head on over to sports360az.com. I love having a drone out here. It's so much fun.
It's a great picture.
Second down and long. Miles Woods with the catch on the short pass from Malakovi. Breaks a few tackles, cuts back the other way. Still on his feet, still going. Miles Woods can't be brought down. Spins off a tackler and finds pay dirt. And just like that, Miles Woods showing once again he is one of the best athletes in the state. A track star as well, getting it done with a lot of excellent footwork there on that play.
Well, there's absolutely no way you can take anything away from athleticism. What I'm going to look at, though, if I'm a coach, watch the way that ball is out there again. All it takes is one swipe anywhere along here. I mean, you can't argue with the vision, the explosion, everything that goes along with it. Again, I just think it's going to be something they'll work on drill-wise this coming week.
We got, one of the Yellow Jackets on stretching duty as well. I love seeing them out in the community, and that includes helping out a little bit.
I mean, that's going above and beyond another Maryvale football player. It looks like a lot of them are cramping.
As they go for 2. And it looks like they are marked down short, so it remains a 25-18 game. Lead for the Panthers. Good stop there by North Canyon to keep this a 7-point game.
Well, you see Alapovi down here. You see Miles Woods down there. And we're just starting the third quarter.
Well, we saw a speedy run there for a touchdown by Miles Wood. Let's talk about speed. It's racing season, and no one takes you around the track like Devin Henry. Tomorrow you can catch his show, Sport of Speed, right after the Arizona Daily Mix here on CW7 Arizona. It all starts at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Seriously, you want the best NASCAR and Sport of Speed coverage around? Devin Henry's your man. He's also our pre, post, and halftime show host as well here tonight. Devin Henry, you can definitely check that out. There's lots of exclusive interviews and stories on that one. As the student section is getting into it right now, they are just having a blast out here with their Hawaiian shirts.
Well, Maryvale looking for an 11th guy out on this kickoff team. I think there's some guys cramping, and all of a sudden you get into that depth and guys that haven't been on the kickoff coverage team. Now they're being called on to fill in here early in the third quarter.
Yeah, that's the thing. You can see some of the guys out there. I mean, some of them are playing both ways, offense and defense, and here they are still on special teams as well. Maybe a little bit less because of some of the cramping that we can see on the sidelines, so other guys having to step in and fill a role that maybe they weren't expected to right away, but they are here to fill in that role. 25-18 game. Kick is up. High bounce that time, number 7. Jamorian Barron receives the kick. Ball is out. Recovered, number 17, Savion Garcia keeps it on his feet and eventually brought down. Interesting play that time as the ball was knocked out, but North Canyon holds on to it.
Well, I think both coaches, that's one thing they're going to probably harp on this week, because once you continue to go down this schedule, you cannot afford the turnovers that have been happening tonight, and even the ones that fall on the carpet, but you recover. That's just the bounce of the football. And you just do not want the ball loose on the ground in a game, especially as close as this one is.
Well, and that's when you get into the philosophy. I mean, both these coaching staffs definitely subscribe to it, talking to them, and, you know, the results aren't everything. You can get the ball to bounce your way, but you can still say, that's not how we do things. It's not what we want, because it's not going to bounce your way every single time. North Canyon, 1st and 10. Pass is caught. Dom Dampier getting involved in the action on offense. Turns upfield, puts on the afterburners. And he gets brought down at the 50. You know, early in pregame, we talked about Dom Dampier being the key to this offense. Maryville's done a good job keeping him from doing damage, but this time, great play designed for him, and he takes advantage of it.
Well, and Dom obviously coming back from injuries and that curtailed a sophomore and junior year, and now he's healthy, and you can see the playmaking ability and how explosive he is with the ball in his hands.
But he's just happy to be playing. 2 collarbone injuries in back-to-back years. That is not easy, as A.J. Garcia gets the carry, but met in the backfield immediately that time as number 90 and 5 get in on the tackle.
Yeah, you look at both those guys. Number 90 was I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to give it a shot, Salamu. I'm going to go with Salamu. And then Kevin Smith met him right in the backfield before he could even make a move.
You know, every time Kevin Smith comes on the screen and then I check at the roster, I still get blown away by seeing the FR next to him.
Yes.
He is just a big body, and it's incredible to see as a freshman. 2nd down and 10. Passes up from Ramondia. Pass nearly intercepted that time. Nice job jumping the route by number 12. That's Elijah Cross, another freshman who's gotten a lot of playing time early and has been making his name known for the Maryville Panthers.
You could see the break on the ball, gets a hand on it. That is such a long throw. When you're going from one hash mark to the other side on the numbers, really, really tough throw for Cross there to get the ball all the way over to the other side of the football field.
Garcia cuts back from behind the line of scrimmage, pushes forward for about 4. And that will bring up 4th down for North Canyon. Tough drive that time. You get a big play from Dom Dampier. We've seen them go for it on 4th down a lot so far this game, but they had success with the punting unit, and they are going to bring out that punting unit now to try to flip the field.
4th and 10, it's a 1-score game. It's a completely different ball game. If you're down 3 scores, 4 scores, you might go for it here, but when you're in this football game, now you're going to punt the ball down, try and pin them, and make Maryville go the entire length of the field.
Kevin Silva's had a couple great punts today. This one, another booming kick. Caught at the 15. That's Miles Woods breaking a few tackles, getting down the sideline. Another one missed. And Miles Woods is just moving down the field before being brought down by the punter, Kevin Silva, making the tackle that time. You always love to see punters get in on the action.
Flag down on the 30-yard line. One of my pet peeves, I think it should be a change at all levels of football. There's an illegal block on a play. Both the play dead.
Yeah.
Penalties happen on the 30-yard line. The only thing that can happen from there on is somebody gets hurt, something bad happens. Just blow it dead. You're going to penalize them 10 yards from the 30-yard line, and that's where Maryville will start.
So after that penalty, bringing back the speedster, we've got more speed to talk about as well.
There are 2 fouls on the play, holding on the return team. That penalty is declined. Personal foul, blindside block of the return team, 15 yards from the spot, 1st down.
It's racing season. So after that one, that big gain negated on the punt return due to that penalty, that's going to bring it back for Maryville. So Dale, after that, Maryville, you know, this is a couple times now they've had some really explosive plays get brought back, and it is difficult to continue to do that. But when you are making those plays, it's just got to be those little things that need to be cleaned up.
Well, again, when you're talking about returns, it's so arbitrary, calling, holding. Obviously, a blindside block, those are easier to call. But just the ease with which Miles Woods carries the football, and you look at him again, you look at it as a junior, makes it look so very easy.
As Deshaun Mitchell gets the carry for no gain to bring up 2nd down and 10. You know, he's another one, we've brought it up a couple times, coming over from Desert Edge where the Carters used to be. He was on JV and didn't really get that role and decided to just go all in on going back to the Carters, and now getting his first opportunity of the season tonight as he's going to break off another tackle. But good disciplined football there by North Canyon as Jamorian Barron brings him down.
Boy, they made him work for those 2 yards. I think every North Canyon defender got a shot at him and ran him out of bounds there after a 2-yard gain, so brings up 3rd down and about 5.
Yeah, way to work for those yards, though, on the flip side. That time there wasn't really much after the snap, but to be able to still get upfield and pick up some positive yards and put yourself in a better 3rd down position, that's all you can ask for out of your running back. Masan Alekpovi looking to convert on 3rd down. He had a free tackler. Nice block there by Deshaun Mitchell, but the pass intended to his brother Julian Alekpovi does fall incomplete. But Deshaun Mitchell just saved Masan a big hit.
Well, I think there might have been a little mental blow up front, because you usually don't allow the defensive end, that time being Kevin Silva, to come absolutely untouched to full head of steam right at your quarterback. But you're right. Nice job by the running back coming over and getting a piece of him so your quarterback doesn't take the full brunt of that punishment.
Yeah, that's one afterwards where, if you're Masan, you're upset about the incompletion, but you're going to, go over and give him a nice little dap up after and say, thank you. You just saved my bell from getting rung on that play. So that'll bring up the punt unit on 4th down for the Maryvale Panthers. Again, still trying to get 11 men out on the field. Seen that a couple times on special teams. It's the punter, Salamu Wasokai. And it's over his head on the snap. This one is trouble, and it does go out of the back of the end zone. So that will be a safety, and now all of a sudden, it's a 25-20 game.
25-20 game, and North Canyon is still getting the football. Snap obviously a little bit high there and not able to get up and get a hand on to knock it down. And when you have a punter who's 5'8", got to make sure that, I've always said this as a snapper, a low snap gives your punter a chance. High snap, they have no chance.
Yeah, especially in those situations where you're so close to the goal line. I mean, once that snap is over his head, it only spells trouble. Whether it's a safety or they get the ball inside the 5-yard line, it's always going to spell trouble when you have a bad snap that close to the end zone especially. So now they're going to have another chance, obviously, on a special kick here after the safety. 25-20 game. North Canyon, once again, what they're doing best tonight, and this is a credit to the coaching staff putting this discipline in there, they are taking advantage of almost every single mistake that Maryvale has made. And when you take advantage of those mistakes and you don't make your own mistakes, you're never going to be out of a game. And they are definitely not out of this game, as now I think the punter is going to get something from the sideline.
He's going to kick it off. Get the tee. No matter how this ends up, North Canyon is going to end up with great field position for their next drive. And as you pointed out, 5 points down. And where you think, oh, Maryvale with the big plays, the huge returns, but called back. Who has momentum in this game right now? And with 6 minutes and 40 seconds left in the third quarter, I don't know where the momentum is.
It has been, how ESPN has those win projection ratings? Yeah. It's been one large swing and then just a bunch of little tiny swings the rest of the way. As the kick is up and return, nice job there getting upfield by number 27. Great job on the return there by Kieran Arnold to get them across midfield.
Another sophomore. You see, again, all these underclassmen that are going to be the foundation of Coach John's program over at North Canyon, guys that he can build on, guys who've gotten varsity experience and went through the struggles. We always go back, my friends and I, to Dallas, and the guys who were there when things weren't great, and then slowly built, and all of a sudden you start winning Super Bowls. lot more appreciation there than the guys who were just drafted into a Super Bowl team like that.
And it's a blessing sometimes too, as 1st and 10, screen pass pressure gets in immediately. Now they're going to rip the football out, but it does go out of bounds there. Nice job there by number 24, Noah Hamilton, going for the ball, making a play that way.
He wanted that. We've called Hamilton's name a lot. That middle linebacker, look at him fighting, and he does take the ball out, but when he yanks right there, it comes out of his hands too, because I don't know if there's anybody who could have tackled him if he had...
Yeah, that might have been a swing right to the end zone there. But back to where we were at as we wait for the next play, you know, it's kind of a blessing when you take over a program like the Carters have this year, like Coach Johns did last year, and you have so many freshmen and sophomores, because now you're not going to lose an entire group of seniors that were there to build the culture. You're getting these young guys to build that culture, as A.J. Garcia gets the handoff again and picks up a nice gain to get back near the original line of scrimmage. But you've seen it in coaching too. It is nice when you have those young players. There's going to be a lot more ups and downs because they have less football experience. And when you're at schools in 4A, a lot of these guys are playing football for the first time when they step on a high school field. But when you get to build with that, you get to see the growth as people and as players. It is really something special.
They get to make mistakes and things like that as a sophomore. A lot of them just have great athletic ability.
On 3rd down and 9, pass is up. Pass is caught. Great catch in traffic by Dom Dampier. Nice job.
Dampier having himself one heck of a football game. Tough catch, doing an in route right into the teeth of that Maryvale defense. Knows he's going to get hit, able to concentrate on the football, come down with it, and pick up the 1st down.
Dom Dampier, something special right there for North Canyon, trailing by 5 with 5:26 remaining in the 3rd quarter. A.J. Garcia gets some blocks, makes a tackle miss. Still going, keeping the legs moving, and eventually brought down near the 15-yard line. A.J. Garcia, way to keep your feet moving.
And again, another one of those juniors. I mean, he just has a great feel for the game. Great job by that offensive line. They're opening a hole. He finds it, great vision, and then the physicality to continue driving his legs.
And on 1st and 10, they give it to Garcia again. Garcia almost breaks another tackle to walk into the end zone, but Jaden French holds on for dear life and brings him down.
They are gouging this Maryvale defense right now, and you got to give that to the offensive line. Tremendous job.
Yeah, you can see the fans here really trying to see if this defense can get a stop. A.J. Garcia fumbles the football. It's picked up by number 5. That's Kevin Scattersmith, still going. He can't be brought down. The freshman needs to be brought down eventually by multiple North Canyon linemen. And just like that, the momentum swings back to Maryvale.
Drives all the way down the field. You start doing your physicality, the offensive line coming off the football, and you get down inside the 5-yard line again, the bad handoff. And now Maryvale has the ball back.
Maryvale has the ball in a 25-20 game, 4:33 remaining in the 3rd quarter. You're watching the high school football showdown on CW7 Arizona. Sports Foundation, welcome into the high school football showdown on CW7 Arizona. We love having Spirit and the Yellow Jackets out at all these games, and make sure you stay tuned after the game. The player of the game gets a one-of-a-kind championship belt brought to you by the Fiesta Bowl Sports Foundation. What they do for these teams, for these communities all year long, not just during bowl week, is incredible, and we're so thankful to have them a part of this broadcast. As you see, the Maryvale fans, some of them rocking their Hawaiian shirts on Hawaiian nights, are excited after a turnover in the red zone gets them back in position with a 25-20 lead, but another bobbled snap puts the ball on the ground before Masan Alakovi gets back on the ground.
We talked about the things that obviously both teams have to work on, but there are so many jerseys that are running free and clear without even being blocked. They're in the backfield, disrupting even handoffs that you don't usually see. These are things both coaching staffs, veteran staffs, been around. They will get those things figured out. But tonight they're struggling with them.
High snap. Deshaun Mitchell gets the carry, bursts upfield, and makes it a much more manageable 3rd down. So we're seeing what I like seeing from these young guys is there's a lot of things that haven't been all that clean in this game, but because of the athleticism, especially a guy like Masan Alekpovi, they just take advantage of it and they make the most of these plays. And a lot of these times, bad snaps can derail an offense. It hasn't slowed them down a whole lot tonight.
Just amazing to see how Masan just does such a nice job of getting that ball back into play and not knowing where that football's coming every snap. Something, again, that they will be able to work on.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense. 5 yards. Third down.
Another false start after a good play, yeah. We've seen.
Are you talking about pre-snap penalties, post-whistle penalties? Those are things you absolutely control. I've lost track of how many pre-snap penalties there have been on Maryvale, but they've absolutely derailed themselves. It's third down and about 3. Now it's third down and 8.
So Mitchell's going to get the carry again, but goes nowhere for a gain of maybe 2 yards. And that's going to bring up fourth down. So North Canyon defense again.
It gains a yard and a half, 2 yards. Well, guess what? If it's third down and 3, very easy to decide to go for it. Now it looks like Maryville's going to decide they're going to keep their offense on the field.
Interesting decision here. You know, we've seen some problems with snaps on the punts recently, so maybe that plays a factor in it. Maybe they just want to continue to let this offense try to cook. They are getting positive plays, but every once in a while they're just beating themselves up and bringing it back.
Well, the one guy I don't see out there right now is number 4 for Maryvale, Miles Woods. Looking for him here on the sideline, but he's not out on the football field. He just came out. But obviously a huge playmaker for Maryvale.
As we get a timeout by Maryvale, we talked about it earlier, Maryvale trying to get to the playoffs at some point this season, but right now it's playoff season in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and the top drivers are laying it all on the line for points, pride, and bragging rights. Live from Charlotte Royale, coverage begins Saturday at 1:30 on CW7 Arizona. Make sure to tune in. Great coverage there in the NASCAR Xfinity Series on CW7. So smart timeout here from Maryvale. If you're going to go for it on fourth down near midfield, you have to have a play in your bag that you want to turn to, and you've got to make sure these guys are ready to execute it correctly.
You want to make sure you have your playmakers out on the field. And now I'm seeing Miles Woods come out. 3 receivers here to the right. Far cry from 13 personnel. Kind of is 13 personnel, but only it's 3 wide receivers to the right instead of 62 as your quarterback and a bunch of tight ends.
On fourth down and 6, Masan Alekpovi pass just a little bit outside his receiver's grasp, and that's going to be a turnover on downs. As you can see, number 3 not happy with himself. Sean Ward, he wanted to come up with that one, but that is a tough play.
Always interesting when you see these types of plays called and you wonder, did he not come back to the football? Was the football thrown a little bit outside? We obviously are not privy to the concept of the play. But, boy, when you talk about a quarterback putting something on the ball, Masan, he stepped into that throw. And there was no doubt that ball is coming out like a rocket.
A little bit of mustard on that one, but turnover on downs. First down and 10 for North Canyon, looking to take advantage of the field position as Garcia gets the handoff. As you can see, brought down by the freshman, Kevin Scatter-Smith.
Number 5 is all over the football field, and it's just amazing to me. Again, we're probably making, well, no, we're not making too big a deal out of it. A freshman having a huge contribution on a Thursday night on TV for his football team.
On second down, passes up. Pass is caught. Don Dampier does it again, and this time takes it to the end zone as he's flying around the back of the pylons. Don Dampier, the man, getting it done for North Canyon as they take their first lead of the night, 26-25.
Last week, 6 catches, 193 yards. He continues to play like this, and the people will say, well, who's Devin Dampier? Who's my big brother? Because he's done such a tremendous job tonight. And obviously, you talk to Coach John, he's a remarkable player, the guy they can always turn to in big moments. And there's no bigger moment than right there to give North Canyon a lead.
lead for the first time tonight, but is a missed point after attempt, so it does stay a 1-point game, and it's been a tough night for extra points for both teams, really. And so that is something to take into account, is we're going to have a close game here down the stretch, and I imagine we're going to see a few more 2-point conversions tonight.
Well, here's what's interesting, because again, as I sit up here and watch and kind of forecast what as these two teams go forward, I mean, it's whoever wins this game obviously will be ecstatic, but they're also going to say, man, we left so much out on the football field. I don't care which team you're talking about, but you've got to be able to kick your extra points. And both teams have struggled to do that tonight. That's the simplest of simple. And I promise you there will be time spent on that this week by both programs.
Yeah, that's one of those where your kickers are going to have their own corner by the goalposts, and they're just going to be sitting there kicking for a lot of practice. You may move things around to make that happen. So 26-25 game. North Canyon has its first lead of the night. Miles Woods takes the squib kick. I mean, just makes more guys miss. He's so patient back there. Now he turns on the jets, working his way down the middle of the field, back outside. Right down inside the 25-yard line. He's got to have almost 200 yards before penalties just on special teams tonight.
I mean, you sit there and you're going, okay, what's he doing? He's waiting. I mean, he picks up, look at him, he looks, hesitates, and then boom, makes 4 guys miss.
It's playing like elementary school football where you play the game where you're the one person and like the entire like grade is chasing after you. He probably played that a lot and learned that patience, because that's not something you just coach. That is instinct and skill that's been sharpened over time, because it's hard to stay patient. I mean, your instinct is just take off immediately and see what you can get.
Majority of guys catch the football, they start running, even if they run to darkness. But the way that he has the patience and the vision, and he's so elusive.
As we get a penalty there, but you know, colleges are going to be knocking on his door if they're not already. And one thing that they're going to love to see is he can make an impact on a program early on special teams. As we have, looks like 12 men on the field for North Canyon, so that's going to move things up for Maryvale.
When you look at him, he's only a junior. And I want to go stand next to him, because he certainly looks a lot taller than 6'1" and 150 pounds.
Yeah, he looks like, since those measurements, he's probably grown a little bit, put on a little bit of weight in the weight room, and hasn't lost any of the agility or speed that he must have had before either. So prior to the flag, there was a timeout called by North Canyon. So no flag on the play, but the Rattlers take their first charge timeout of the second half.
See, I'm of the generation and an offensive lineman who we always put a weight just a tad bit less than what we actually weighed. And we weighed heavier. These guys who are putting less weight and less height, I don't really understand that, because I promise you, 6'2", 175 is what he's got to be. I'd bet your house on it.
You know, I wouldn't recommend it for Miles Woods, but if he was out there with the Bulls, he could definitely put some moves on them to try to get away. Speaking of that, Saturday evening, the toughest bull riders on earth face off in the PBR Camping World Series. It's a thrill ride from start to finish, live on CW7 Arizona this Saturday at 5. I had a friend do the running of the bulls in Spain this year. Miles Woods could do that one day. I could see it.
Why?
After he's done playing. Do not do it while he's a football player, but wow, he's got the moves for it.
Why would you do that?
My buddy did bust an ankle doing that.
When have you heard a good story? Like, oh, the flight went great. The hotel was awesome. And guess what? I didn't get hurt.
It's like going someplace and everybody gets hurt. If you don't get hurt, it's probably a blast. Once you do, it's not fun. As Deshaun Mitchell gets the carry, goes nowhere to bring up second down.
Running with the Bulls.
Long-standing tradition. So many people sign up for it. I'm with you. I feel like I'm still pretty fast. I don't think I want anywhere near that. I'd rather go there and have a good time. You know, I don't want to be there at all.
No, I want to be one up high, and I want to look and point at all you idiots while I'm drinking a beer and having a good time.
Yeah, I agree, Dale. I think, you know, no thanks to me, but, you know, hey, people enjoy the thrill, have at it, I guess. But second down and 11 Alekpovi, beautiful ball into the end zone. Pass deflected and falls incomplete to bring up 3rd down and 10. Nice play there by number 6. That's Jarrell Herod, the junior, getting in on the action.
Ball hangs up there a little bit, allows the safety to get over and do a nice job breaking that up. Not even sure if it was caught, if it would be on the field of play. As you see Julian Alekpovi come back.
Yeah, Julian's a guy to watch for here in the situation on 3rd down and 10. Masson trusts him more than any person in his life. Deshaun Mitchell gets the carry. Brought down at the 20. That'll bring up 4th down and 5. Let's see, with the struggles we've seen in the kicking game, I imagine they're going to go for it.
Oh, I don't think they even look over at the field goal unit. But you've got another Maryvale player. Looks like they're cramping. Obviously, some water protocols will be put in for next week.
Water protocols, maybe a little bit of salt on the sidelines, or some electrolytes in one of the jugs. There's things you can do to work around it. But like we said, pregame, we talked about it, integrating the transfers, and they've all looked really, really solid so far. But that is something to, think about. They have been conditioned in practice, but they haven't gotten game conditioning yet. And yeah, it's not 105 degrees like it has been recently, but it is still something they obviously are acclimating to. And part of it is it gets colder, you don't drink as enough water. So there is layers to this.
One of the things that's always, from the time I was 8 years old, the time I was 40 when I quit playing, the fact that all coaches go, you need to practice like you play. You need to practice like it's a game. And guess what? You just can't duplicate that intensity until you're actually out in a game. And that's a good point by you, that a lot of these guys, yeah, they think they've been pushing themselves in practice, but now it's game time. There's lights on. There's a crowd. And you're going a little bit harder. And those cramps start to happen. The one thing that when you're in high school they don't allow you to do, it's when you get to college and the NFL, they give you IVs at halftime.
Right.
And there's no better feeling than cramping getting an IV, I tell you what, Jordan.
Oh, I believe it. Because it is hard once you cramp to do just water. It's difficult. So that's why, again, it's so important to stay on top of it ahead of time. And, maybe it's, get some bananas in the locker room and eat plenty of those, because that will help with cramping for anybody, really. So 4th down, as Masson Alekpovi looks to keep the offense on the field. Under 30 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Trailing for the first time in this game, 26-25. The biggest moment of the game so far for the Maryvale offense. And he has nowhere to go. The line got in there. The secondary did their jobs in coverage. And that's going to be a turnover on downs.
You've just got to tip your cap to this defense of North Canyon and the tremendous job that they've done. And you go to who's coaching this team. Obviously, we talked about Anthony Johns an awful lot. Then you look at defensive coordinator Rudy Mendez, who's put together a great game plan, and not only that, but his players executing it. Defensive line coach Christian Alvarez doing a nice job. So this defense coming up with a plan, executing it, because this is an explosive offense for Maryvale.
North Canyon with a chance to extend their lead for the first time tonight. A.J. Garcia gets the carry, and that will lead us into the end of the 3rd quarter. We've got one more quarter of action here at Maryvale High School in the Fiesta Bowl High School Football Showdown. North Canyon with a 26-25 lead. Dale, we have seen it all in this game. The athleticism of Maryvale and the strength of North Canyon taking advantage of mistakes and not making many of their own. 4th quarter action right around the corner on the Fiesta Bowl High School Football Showdown on CW7 Arizona.
Bowl High School Football Showdown on CW7 Arizona is brought to you by Sports 360 AZ. For the most complete coverage of high school sports in Arizona, visit sports360az.com.
North Canyon up 26-25 in the Fiesta Bowl High School Football Showdown. This game break we need to recognize the 2016 Marietta Mesa Baseball Rams. They are being thrown to their school Hall of Fame for making their first ever state championship game with the program. And that man right there was part of it. Jordan Spurgeon, listed at 5'9", but we won't talk about it. His junior year, 2017 graduate, helped score the game-winning run early in that championship chase against Esperanza. They win 3-2 over Hartwood Westlake for the CIF Southern Section D1 State Championship. They are going to be recognized tomorrow at the homecoming football game. We have a 3-time Super Bowl champion and a Hall of Famer in the Santan Ford broadcast booth. You'll never trust me again, Spurge.
Devin. Wow. I got to get ready for my flight and deal with all that after. But no, thank you so much as North Canyon picks up a first down.
I can't get far enough away from the camera. I'm not worthy. I don't even know what I'm doing here. I need to get out of the camera shot. There he is.
Oh man, my jaw dropped immediately. But seriously, thank you. And that's you move on in life. That was one of the funnest times of my life, and it's changed perspective. You see teams that come together. That team was so special. Our school had never won anything in any sport, and we went on a crazy run. Hunter Green, you may have seen him on the Cincinnati Reds. We beat him at some point.
Hunter, how did he make it? You didn't. What was the difference?
Oh, when I faced him once, it was 3 pitches, 98 plus, and I looked at all 3. There was no touch in that in high school for sure. It's a different beast. But thanks for that, guys. I appreciate it. So, second down now, interception. Miles Woods making the plays. He's going to house it just like that. Maryvale back on top. 31-26. Miles Wood getting it done on offense, on special teams, and now housing an INT on defense. What can't he do?
Well, I don't know if there's anything he can't do. This ball comes out, and he's standing right there in front of the receiver, and you're not going to catch him. That's the thing. It's you see number 4 take off, and he kind of toys with you a little bit, and then when he wants to go, he goes, and now he's going to the sideline and gets stretched out. And you're right. That's the thing about cramps is if you don't get to them before they start, they're going to be there the rest of the game. And so tremendous play, tremendous job, and just like that, you got this Maryvale team taking the lead on North Canyon.
I mean, that's tough. I mean, he's doing all this while cramping. We've seen him come off multiple times for cramps. We've seen Masan Alekpovi and Julian Alekpovi come off for cramps. And they're staying in this game and gutting it out and doing all they can. Because, like you said, it's hard to get it figured out and gone as that time the 2-point conversion is botched again. And it's going to remain a 5-point game. Maryvale with a 31-26 lead.
Well, where's the Fiesta Bowl guys? I mean, they need to be down there stretching. I mean, they need to be down there stretching our guys.
Work some overtime today down there, getting them stretched out. And
so, state championship in baseball. You had the floppy hair going. I mean, we can't overlook that. And you lied in the program. Do you feel good about that? You lied about your height because you ain't no way close to 5'10".
Oh man, I've always been somewhere between that 5'8", 5'10" range. I let it be up to discussion on that one.
5'8", 5'10".
5'8" to 5'10" in the discussion.
I don't know.
Somewhere in that range.
I think we go back to the pregame.
We may have to do a height check later on. Maybe it's time to get it remeasured. But,
congratulations.
Thank you. Man.
All right, so you're going to the Hall of Fame?
Tomorrow I'm flying out to San Diego and then going out to Merida Mesa. So the school opened up in, I want to say 2009, so 2016. I was a junior. We had a class of like 15 seniors, and there was 2 of us juniors and a sophomore on the roster in the regular season. It was just one of those groups that just all the seniors had played together forever. I had transferred in and was looking for an opportunity after the previous school just wasn't for me, and just kind of lucked into being part of a really fun team.
What position?
Center field, left field. I only had probably...
I'm looking at your legs. You tell me now you have wheels too?
That was about all I had was some speed out there as well.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
That was about it.
I mean,
oh my goodness.
I mean, first of all, okay, they're clean cut. You know, you're probably a sophomore there, and then this
senior,
Floppy.
I mean, yeah,
your nickname Floppy?
They tried having the head thing on. It didn't quite fit. We had a great photographer. I think she's going in the Hall of Fame this weekend as well. Gio Sanders, he was an ASU wide receiver. He's going in the Hall of Fame. He was a class behind me. He's going to be inducted this week. And then, that entire team. One guy made professional baseball. Andy Thomas was a catcher. He's in different organizations. I think he just recently retired. But just a scrappy group of guys. It was fun. And when you look at high school football, that's the memories you look back. I look at the championships, the bus rides to those games. We got to leave school way early just to go to a mall and get food.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's memorable. As that time North Canyon on first down picks up a couple.
What was your nickname in high school?
Spurge. People have a hard time saying the last name Spurgeon.
Come on.
Yeah,
it wasn't floppy in locker room somewhere. Come on. The hair had to come into it somehow.
Just Spurge. That was it.
Again, look at him. Look at the good-looking dude. He's engaged, going to get married, and sitting next to Grandpa.
As Dom Damp here gets the pass that time to get some yardage there for North Canyon.
Looks like they're going to give him the first down with 10 minutes and 20 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Looking at a 5-point game. So again, one big play. North Canyon's back into this football game, and can they start putting together a drive, run the football a little bit, take a little time off the clock?
Good start there. Romandia, the left-handed slinger, gets it to Garcia on the screen pass. They've tried that a few times today. They're seeing success on this play as Garcia lets loose. Picks up a first down with a flag on the play.
Yeah, I get another illegal block. I just saw the very end of it right up at the top.
Yeah, right there.
Flag comes in late.
Bit of a tough call. So they're going to call holding that time on the offense. That's going to bring back that gain.
Well, I'm kind of wondering where that call was, if we could see that replay one more time, because it looked like it was a little bit downfield, but they're not giving them any.
Yeah, I didn't see where the flag came in exactly there. It didn't seem like it happened at the line of scrimmage. It looked like it came downfield somewhere. So that call does negate the big gain for North Canyon and sets them back 1st and 20 from inside the 20-yard line. Romandia gets the snap. RPO keeps it himself. Lets his legs do the talking before going out of bounds, getting back near or just past the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, really nice job there. Keeps the ball himself, and you're talking about this young kid who's played wide receiver and quarterback, only a junior, so you're going to have him for another year. You're going to have AJ Garcia for another year.
As you see the band down there.
Is she going to play?
It's a good time. Yeah, we might have to go to Lexi here in a minute when she's learning to play here.
Yeah.
We'll see how fast she picks that up as we have 2nd down and 5.
She might be going to in the Band Hall of Fame.
We've got quite a cast up here as that time, nice tackle there by Tariq Hanna in the backfield. I'm hearing some good sounds already.
She's got to hit those things with authority.
Build the confidence down.
You got to hit those
Build
with
the confidence. There we go. I think I know the song she's trying to write. I like that. Okay. We'll come back to Lexi.
You can name that tune in 5 tunes.
3rd down. Dom Damp here. Out of bounds almost immediately. I think that's what it was. I can't tell.
Well, now this isn't going to be interesting because it's going to be 4th and 1, but it looks like North Canyon is going to punt it as the punt team starts to come on the field. But 4th and 1, you struggle to get punts off. Your operation hasn't been solid all game. And now you can put some pressure on it. Let's see how this works out for them. And also, look who's back deep for Maryvale.
So Kevin Silva, the punter, he has gotten some nice punts off, but Miles Woods has just negated all those punts. I mean, the air punt yardage has got to be really, really good. He's had a great game, but Miles Woods with his patience and athleticism has just made this special teams unit pay. Kick is up. Once again. This time it's actually Julian Alekpova back there. As Lexi Lambert has been learning the xylophone down there. Lexi, how's it going?
You saw me practice earlier. I am here with Mark, who's the band director, and you might look familiar because he was playing the trumpet in the mariachi band, along with Brandon behind me. He was on the guitar, which might not be the proper term, but he plays the xylophone, and these lovely people and ladies were around me were teaching me. Can you walk me through what kind of skill comes to playing with the xylophone?
Well, so and a lot of coordination and knowing a little bit about, because it's basically like a piano, except you're not using your fingers, you're using mallets. And there's different sizes of mallets. So like Daisy has these little tiny mallets for that smaller metallic one. Ooh, that's a loud sound. And then we have the xylophone, which are for the bigger mallets here and get a little bit bigger of a sound from the wood.
Okay.
From the wood there, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to try it out now. Okay. I'm going to hand my mic over. Okay. You said these two? Right? Okay. That's what I learned, everybody.
Lexi, that's great. Oh my goodness, Lexi. All right, I think you needed to stay there the rest of the game and continue to learn. I want to hear a full song by the end of it. All right?
Okay.
Thanks, Lexi. And thanks to the band. They're having a great time out here. I'm really enjoying the student sections.
Yeah, it's a great atmosphere.
I mean, the community is showing out so far tonight. We get a good run up the gut there by Maryvale.
Starting to run the football a little bit. That's a sign of a good football team. You got the explosiveness on the outside, and that's whether you're talking about Woods, you're talking about Alakopovi, the receiver, not Alakopovi, the quarterback, and you see the playmakers on the outside. But if you can hammer the ball between the tackles, that just makes it so difficult on a defense.
And that's Isaac Buchanan getting back in the game for Maryvale, the single-game school record rushing holder after week 1, a 348-yard performance. Again, takes it up the gut. Won't be brought down until they blow the boy dead. Nice job there by Isaac Buchanan to pick up a first down and some.
Makes it look so easy. And again, when you look at this kid's a sophomore, they got so many underclassmen that are learning really on the job. And I am super excited to see what Maryvale's going to be next season as they continue to flourish this year.
Continue to flourish here in 4A. You know, we showed the schedule earlier. We may have it again at some point, but they've got some opportunities to make some noise this season as Isaac Buchanan nearly gets to the end zone before being brought down. Nice tackle by Dom Dampier to save a touchdown. Looked like he had a lane.
You can talk about Dampier all night long. We've seen him make tremendous plays offensively. We've seen him make some great plays defensively, and just been all over the football field. And it's just fun to see guys like this out there playing high school football on a Thursday night, under the lights, on TV, something he'll be able to cherish for a long, long time.
It really doesn't get better than this. I mean, this is what it's all about. It's for the kids. As we do get a timeout by North Canyon, you know, that's something the Carter brothers have always been about. You know, their journey has been quite interesting over the years. But right now we're going to step aside. 31-26 Maryvale over North Canyon. Lexi on the xylophone and so much more coming up.
The Fiesta Bowl High School Football Showdown on CW7 Arizona is brought to you by Sweet James. We fight to get what you deserve. The U.S. Army, be all you can be. And Talk Now AZ. Start a conversation about drugs and alcohol with your kids now. Talk. They hear you.
Welcome back into the Fiesta Bowl High School Football Showdown. Tonight's aerial coverage brought to you by Sports 360 AZ. You know, as they come back out on the field, North Canyon's had quite the schedule so far and more games to look at ahead that we'll get to in a moment. So as we get set, second down, Masan Alekpovi passes up into the corner of the end zone. Pass nearly caught one-handed by Sean Ward, but it does fall incomplete. Nice coverage there by number 7.
Yeah, pretty good coverage there. Nice job by that. And we've called Barron's name a ton for North Canyon, both offensively and defensively. Look like there might be a flag on the play. Some discussion with the officials. And there's a receiver downfield.
So that will be against Maryvale. He almost came up with that ball. That's impressive as well. But again, elite coverage there. Regardless, They're being pushed back just past the 10-yard line. He's another guy that he got a chance to play early in the season. He's new to the program, but he was able to play, and he's somebody that, you know, the coaches were very impressed with. He doesn't ever want to come off the field, and they've been just, you know, a guy where, you know, a bunch of other transfers are coming in. He earned that spot. He wasn't going to let other receivers, you know, take away his snaps. I know we haven't seen a ton of plays for him so far, but he has been out on the field for most of the game, and that's because of the work that he's put in and the results that he got in those first 5 games, even in an offense that was basically just running 13 personnel.
I'm sitting here watching the back and forth, the officials and the players, and I don't know who the ineligible receiver was downfield unless the wide receivers were not lined up correctly, which they were talking to all 3 receivers to this side. And obviously, you have to have 4 players in the backfield. If you line up and you are covered and ineligible and you go downfield, then they're going to call a penalty on you.
And then following that penalty, Isaac Buchanan picked up a couple. 3rd down and 15, goal to go. Yeah, that penalty is going to be, it has an interesting effect on this drive so far. Let's see if Maryvale can overcome it, as that play is blown dead for another penalty or a timeout. False start on the defense this time. Oh, no, the offense.
Yeah, I don't. Okay. It's really interesting watching up here in the press box. The snap is always just a smidge late. And I'm not sure if that's the center, if that's the quarterback. It's one of those two. And again, maybe you're talking about getting things in rhythm and stuff like that. But we've seen a number of those. Lost track of them, as I said. I should have started keeping track. But there's been at least 5 pre-whistle or pre-snap penalties.
Now, pass rushers in the backfield immediately. Passes up. Pass is caught. The Alak-Povey connection, brother to brother. Masson to Julian for a touchdown, and Maryvale extends their lead. 37-26.
What a nice catch by Julian. Nice throw rolling to his left by Masson. And how cool is that? I mean, you'll have tape of this. You'll be able to play it for your kids and your brother's kids and your parents' grandkids and all that. I mean, it just doesn't happen very often. And this group, pretty darn special. And one's a sophomore, Julian a senior. Nice catch. Give this Maryvale team a little more comfort in their lead.
And it's great to see that in the moment, because you know they've been doing that since they were kids. And once again, the connection comes through for the 2-point conversion, 39-26. I mean, these two have been doing it since they were little kids in the backyard, probably at school, in elementary school, when they were, you know, overlapping in grades. And they've always just had fun playing football. They trust each other more than they trust any other person on this earth, and you can see it in the way they're playing just on that drive alone. I mean, you can talk about great connections. You know, you see it at all levels of football, and there's receivers that played with their quarterbacks in college. They play together in the NFL, and that's great. Nothing beats a brother-to-brother connection, because you've literally had it your entire life.
There's absolutely nothing like that. My brother's 10 years younger than me, so I never obviously got to have that feeling. I just saw number 55 for Maryvale, Bryson Freeman. 6'1", 250-pound freshman, offensive lineman. He's a guard. He came off like a drum major. He was so excited after the score. It's just so enjoyable to sit up here and watch the joy that's on the sideline of this Maryvale football team. And yes, North Canyon is losing right now, but you can see a different attitude in that football team. And I'm looking for both these teams to have great success here within the next year.
Yeah, seeing young guys perform on the biggest stage in a game where it's your first game of the season, you're on TV, you're amped up, you've got all this excitement, you've been waiting. You know, the motto has been, they're finally free. They're finally free to play, and to live up to that and show that the potential is limitless as the kick goes through the back of the end zone. I mean, that is just something that lets you know these guys will probably be playing on Saturdays one day. Don't miss a down of CW college football Saturday when Wake Forest goes head-to-head with ACC rival Virginia Tech. Coverage begins Saturday morning at 10 here on CW7 Arizona. And I want to reiterate that. We're seeing a lot of players, these freshmen and sophomores in particular. We're going to see a lot of them, you know, a good amount of them playing on Saturdays, whether they find themselves in smaller programs or potentially at some of the bigger programs that end up on broadcasts like this ACC matchup, because there's so much talent. These schools are going to find them.
Yes, they are, and that's the thing. If you play, they will find you.
And it doesn't hurt when your coaches are really good at marketing as well. That time, met in the backfield, Jaden French brings down the QB. And that's what I think is special to see. You know, a lot of times it's very easy to get caught up in the 6A programs and everything that they do, but when you have coaches that care about the kids in the community and they have ways to market and communicate to college coaches that are going to give these kids opportunities, it's not just about, if a kid's going to play at Ohio State, they're going to play at Ohio State no matter where they go. But now these kids have opportunities, the Lake Forests of the world and the D2 schools and the JUCOs across the country that are going to be open to them. As that pass is nearly intercepted, they're signaling that it did fall incomplete to bring up third down.
Okay, yeah, the refs were very nonchalant for what seemed like a pretty close to the interception there by Julian. Let's see if he gets his hands underneath this ball or not.
Yeah, clearly in the ground.
A little short hop there. But you're right, and the other thing is when you start to have success as a program, the kids in the neighborhood aren't looking to go other places. Yep. I've been a part of a program at Scottsdale Christian Academy for many years where we couldn't keep our middle school kids. They wanted to go somewhere else, as there's some contact here.
And yeah, they're going to throw the flag there for sure.
We got one flag. We got 3 officials, and one guy threw the flag. The other 2 said incidental contact.
But you're right, especially in these areas in Central Phoenix where this is the most populated area in the state. There is so much talent, but because of open enrollment, it's been very hard for these programs to keep kids. When you start setting the culture, and you can see the results of it here tonight with Maryvale so far, those kids want to stay, and that means you're going to get more talent at your school because your own kids want to stay. And that's important. We see it. Caesar Chavez, we were there a couple weeks ago, and what Coach Hovick is doing over there, that's his mission. Keep the kids in the neighborhood in Levine here at Levine and not tell them to drive 40 miles to go to school every day.
And then the key to all of it is, are you playing?
Yep.
Because college coaches do not recruit from practice tape. You can be the second best right tackle in the state. If the first best right tackle is on your team, they don't come and watch your practice as a junior or senior. And so you go to a place where you can play, hang out with your neighborhood kids you play Pop Warner football with, and all those things. And these 2 programs are building towards that. And the more fun and the more success that you have, the more kids who want to stay home.
And that brings me to another point, too, what I was impressed with, because a lot of times, and you've probably experienced this too, you know, being in the coaching space and being in this broadcast space, sometimes high school football feels more like a job than it does a sport. And what both these programs do is that pass is intercepted. That time, Jaden French comes up with it to make the play and be brought down near midfield. So big-time turnover there, and that's kind of the exclamation point on this game with a 39-26 lead.
And what did you not mention about Jaden French?
He's a sophomore.
He's a sophomore. Again, 6 foot, 160 pounds. He looks bigger than 6 foot. Goes up, catches the ball. Nice job coming back and making the tackle there by Dampier. But still another turnover. And now with under 4 minutes left, you've got a 39-26 lead for Maryvale. I'm kind of interested to see how the Carters are going to handle these last few minutes of the game. Do you just hammer the ball, or are you going to throw the ball? And that's a very interesting play because the running back hit the quarterback's arm as he's trying to throw it.
Yeah, that one led the ball being spiked directly into the ground that time. You don't see that very often, a little miscommunication there. I think Buchanan and Masson are going to be doing a lot of work on that this week.
And you stop the clock, again, when you're talking about a 39-26 game, it's a comfortable lead. But all it takes is one mistake, and North Canyon's right back in this thing.
Tonight's drone coverage is brought to you by Sports 360 AZ. For the most complete coverage of high school sports in Arizona, visit sports360az.com. How about seeing that play from the sky as North Canyon just stuffs Buchanan?
And I think they stole the ball.
I think they did that time. Number 45. We've seen him all over the field today. Markel Arnold making another big play on defense. And like you said, this game's not over. Yeah, they're going to say, hold on now, they're going to keep the offense on the field as they have some discussions.
I think the ball's going to North Canyon, and as you said.
Yeah. Yep. So North Canyon does get the ball there. We have 3:31 remaining in the fourth quarter. It's a two-score game, 39-26. North Canyon has fought all game. There's been times where it looked like it was going to get out of hand, and they just continue to stay in the game as all the lights go out. With 3:31 remaining here. Lights go out